I would like at the start to table the National Education and Training for Health Policy, which was passed by Cabinet on the 6th of October 2025. It's by the Ministry of Education and Sports. I would like to lay this policy. Now, the intention of this policy is to create a regulatory framework to streamline matters of training the medics so that we can have competent doctors and other health professionals, because I am sure all of us, you would want to appear before a medical doctor or any other health worker when you are confident that this person is competent. That is why they do not grade the medical degrees, for instance, right, Honorable Speaker. Other courses, somebody gets a first class, a second class, upper, a past degree, but medical degrees are never classified, so that if you are a doctor, you are a doctor. Otherwise, if they told you this doctor got a past degree, probably you will be scared appearing before him or her. So when this policy was passed, it has very many progressive provisions that are meant to set standards and build the competencies as we train our health workers. Now, when this policy was passed, there are provisions which were contested by the interns and the medical fraternity. As you've been seeing, the leader of opposition raised this matter on the floor, and I did. And Her Excellency, the Vice President and the Right Honorable Prime Minister pledged to Parliament that the government would come back and update the House on those areas which are being contested. And I have been telling Parliament and the public that I do not have authority as a minister to review or reverse or pronounce myself on a policy which was passed by Cabinet. So I have been carrying out consultations, and I would like to report. Let me say that when this policy was passed, we were directed as Ministry of Health to deploy all the interns, all those medical students who have completed their studies and are due for deployment. Because in the past, there was a challenge of few accredited internship centers, so the ministry would deploy some and leave others in waiting. And what we did this time around is that we expanded the internship centers by posting specialists to hospitals, including the general district hospitals, and now we have 77 accredited internship centers, and we have deployed all those pre-interns, and we have deployed 2,490 interns. This is the medical doctors, dental surgeons, pharmacists, and graduate nurses and midwives. Now, the two contentious policy positions which had been taken in the new policy are: one, the issue of facilitation, because traditionally government has been paying all interns, but a new proposal had been passed that we distinguish those who were sponsored by government at university training and those who were privately sponsored. And that's one of the issues which has been bringing discomfort among these interns. We've been paying 1,268,929 Uganda shillings, which when taxed, the net pay becomes 1 million shillings. And the proposal in that policy had been that for those who are government sponsored, the sponsorship continues at internship, and for those who were privately sponsored, then your guardian or parent continues sponsoring you, but the government pays for your meals. When we computed the cost of meals as per government rate, it had given us a figure of 483,334. So when we met yesterday, and I have consulted the President, I have also consulted the Cabinet which sat yesterday. We did agree, and the Cabinet recommended that we suspend that provision of facilitation for medical interns, meaning that we pay them as it has been. So going forward, the current cohort of interns will be paid the same amount. That is 1,268,929, and is subject to tax, and then the net pay will be 1 million. So that differentiation between the government-sponsored and private-sponsored has been suspended for the current cohort of interns, but Cabinet directed me as Minister of Health to come back and come with a comprehensive, because there are many doctors who are qualifying but are not being absorbed by government, or they are not getting employment. So Cabinet directed that we study all this. We look at how many doctors do we need to train in the country, how do we absorb all those medical graduates, what pay should we provide to them as government. The President is of the view and has guided that we should not subject the pay of medical workers to tax, the way it is done to the soldiers and the armed forces. So Cabinet directed me to prepare a report within 6 months, but I will do it within two months to Cabinet to address all these issues. Yeah? At the earliest, we are highly efficient in the Ministry of Health. Even if the demand came that we do it tomorrow, we will still do it. So we shall present it at the earliest, so that we address comprehensively the issue of the human resource for health, including the staffing levels in our health facilities. So we shall be presenting that. And also, we are discussing the issue of dual employment and moonlighting in the health sector. The other day when I made a remark on this floor about when interns were not there and the mortality rates went down, people were unhappy. But like I clarified, right, Mr. Speaker, the challenge we've been having, like many people say, that these hospitals where we deploy interns, it is the interns running the services. It shouldn't be like that. Interns provide medical services but under supervision. So it is wrong to leave the interns on their own because they are still under training. And the challenge has been that the specialists, the senior doctors, more or less like, okay, I don't want to say they run away, they absentee themselves and leave the service provision to the interns, which should not be that way. So part of the tasks I have been given is to review that issue. How do we ensure that even when we deploy interns, the senior doctors are present to provide supervision? I am not sure whether any one of you would be comfortable if you went to hospital and God forbid they are to do an operation on you, say an abdominal surgery. Who of you would be comfortable if they said it's the intern who is going to operate you? I am sure most of you would be, there should be a surgeon, a senior surgeon. So we are going to look at all this and then bring a comprehensive statement to Cabinet, and thereafter we shall come to the House to give you that statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to inform my Honorable Minister that while he's telling us what he's saying, there are interns that have been arrested while doing their own constitutional right in terms of striking, I might not call it strike. So maybe, Honorable Minister, yes, industrial action, as the lawyers might say. So maybe as you give us the detailed statement, may we know the fate or whether there is something that has been decided by the government regarding those who have been arrested in doing what they are supposed to do under the Constitution. Thank you.
I'm still reporting, and that's part of the issues I will reach. You know, I am taking time because...
Honourable Minister, let's conclude, because
yes.
You've already given us the most important good news. So let's conclude on the rest.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. So the issue of pay, we have sorted it that way, like I've explained. Now, the other contentious issue which the interns were complaining about was that the policy proposes a major shift in terms of when do the medical graduates graduate. Because traditionally, when you finish the medical school, meaning you have sat the final exams and you have passed, then the university schedules and arranges for graduation. So the policy had proposed that when you complete the training, the academic training, you proceed for internship and then you graduate after internship. That one we have reversed it. We have reversed it and said no, there should be a distinction between the academic qualification and the qualification for practice. Those are different. And therefore, the status quo shall remain, that the medical students will be undertaking their studies. When they pass the final exams, they will graduate, and then internship will be separate. Because you can choose to train as a doctor, and then you want to go and do internship outside the country, or you want to go and do something else, you don't want to practice. That freedom should be allowed. So that one, we also took a decision on that. Now, as I conclude, in response to what my honorable brother from Uganda West has raised, I met the pre-interns and we had a lengthy discussion which lasted about 6 hours. And I gave them assurance that there is goodwill in the Parliament, there is goodwill in the Cabinet, there is goodwill from myself as the Minister of Health. So I had guided them, there is no need for confrontational approach to resolving this matter. So I told them you would be confronting government if, for instance, we were resisting or not listening to you. But these are young people, you know, from our student days. When you just say, where, people just start rioting without even knowing what the issue is. So unfortunately, we struck an agreement that I would pursue their issues, but still they went ahead and went into way. And they demonstrated. It's unfortunate that some of them were arrested by police. Of course, police was doing its work. If you offend the rules, these laws were passed here in Parliament. Yes, there is a law which guides on assemblies and protests, and it's there. Yes, it is there. When I was saying we passed that law here in the House. So it's unfortunate. I didn't actually know. It appeared when I was briefing Parliament that day, I didn't know they were demonstrating coming to Parliament. And I think up to 8 of them were arrested, produced in the court, charged, and remanded. My view is that they should be released. They should be released. Because, and maybe even the charges dropped. And while, of course, the DPP and the court system, they are independent, as a minister, you can't direct court on what to do, but we shall engage. No. We shall engage as the Minister of Health, I will engage the judicial officers together with Attorney General to see how the issue can be amicably resolved. So those young people should be released so that they can go and start their internship training.
Honourable Minister,
So
can we conclude?
in brief,
Yeah.
Right Honourable Speaker, that's the update I just wanted to give the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, honourable colleagues, these are straightforward matters. We were demanding from the minister, one, that the interns should be paid. Okay? They reversed the decision, the interns are going to be paid. Number two, we are saying the interns were demanding that they need to be allowed to graduate before they can do internship. And it has been resolved. Okay? So I will allow only two people. I will allow the leader of opposition and the chair committee on health. And we conclude this matter. We go back to our major issue. Thank you. One person from each side. This is fait accompli. So I don't know what we want to add. Yes, leader of opposition.
The leader of opposition coming in. Yes, we had deployed them and asked them to report from the 3rd to the 14th, which deadline has since passed. But these are our children, our sons and daughters. Yes, hold on. So we are going to extend that period to Friday this week. So I request these young people, the interns, okay, some of them are not young, to report. We extend the reporting period up to Friday this week, beyond which we shall consider those who have not reported probably to have taken a decision not to undertake internship.
Thank you. Lop.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the Minister for the feedback he has given to the House. In the last couple of days, we have been harassing him for this response, and I'm hoping he didn't take it personal. It's just that he's the duty bearer, and he's the one we had to harass, execute this mandate. Like you, Mr. Speaker, even as I was harassing the Minister here, I normally follow up to reach out and engage how far, what's happening. And so he gave me an update as well. And I said, okay, at least there is some progress. What's for sure is that the interns have been saying, no, we deserve a lot more. The 1 million that has been the case for quite some time now. In fact, there was a time when government paid them a lot more for one financial year and then went back to 1 million shillings. And so they are saying, surely with inflation and passage of time and so on, 1 million 5 years ago is not the same today. And it has been one of the issues they have been raising. So I hope that in your continuous engagements, that can get to be incorporated. At least we are glad that government has acknowledged the fact that these interns are medical doctors. They are out there doing this work and they need to be facilitated. We are past that stage because the acknowledgement has happened. When government says, okay, we're going to give them 1 million shillings net, for me that is acknowledgement that they need to be facilitated. Now going forward, in your engagements, and I would like to encourage the Minister, that engagement you had with them should not be the last. Hopefully you can keep engaging with them so that you understand them better, the idiosyncrasies, the nature of work that they do now, because, Honourable Minister, I'm sure you graduated like what, maybe 40 years ago. Times have changed. A lot has changed. You know, the terrain is different. Many of them are in far to rich places. And so 1 million shillings or that kind of thing many years ago cannot be the same today. So please keep engaging them and let the conversation be, how do we facilitate them better? You have started now by acknowledging, yes, they need to be facilitated, but that needs to be improved. They're saying the work they do, things are expensive, the places they've got to go and rent, up country, wherever they are. So there should be a conversation about this money being increased. But also finally, Mr. Speaker, the Minister has told us that this particular rescinding of that policy is for this cohort, of that provision is for this particular cohort. That worries me, because that means I will be back here maybe next year to complain again, because you'll be saying, no, that was for this particular cohort. So next year we are moving on to something different and to totally, remove this facilitation. I hope that now in your engagements with government, now that you're preparing a report, that you get to say, no, we need to, going forward, continue to facilitate these people, so that it doesn't apply only to this cohort. So I hope it's not just for this cohort, and then going forward you say, no, we will not facilitate them going forward. No, it should not just be for this cohort, but like I'm saying, going forward, let's have a discussion about facilitating them better. And government can afford to do this, I believe. When we privatize and say healthcare is important, and these people have qualified, let's pay them better, what is deserving of them. That now should be the next conversation we get to have. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Chair, Committee on Health.
Yeah, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. First and foremost, I want to thank the Minister of Health for the efforts and, importantly, choosing dialogue to end this issue. And again, want to thank the interns, especially their leadership, Uganda Medical Association, again, for choosing dialogue to end this issue. However, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of the Minister that there were some incidences reported last time, I think a year or ago, where some intern lost lives. And this was on account of choosing accommodation in insecure areas of stay. So I think the allowance that we give really needs to be stepped up such that these interns are able to choose accommodation in safer areas. And in the long run, as government, we should plan to think of how to house interns near their places of placements. And having said that, there are other colleagues almost doing a similar work. These are the senior house officers. And, Right Honorable Minister, I would request that the comprehensive package possibly that will be coming forth, it should also be clear what is there that is planned for the senior house officers. And again, what is being given is an allowance. It has to be clear that government is not giving them a salary, the interns, just an allowance to help them get accommodation and then get feeding. Similarly, the senior house officers are qualified doctors but doing postgraduate and also serve under similar situations. These two needs to be looked into. And finally, there is a need for predictability of this funding. Possibly maybe entrench it in some of our budgets such that we don't end up with similar situations next time, that again we don't have resources to pay the interns. However, I thank you, Minister. Thank you so much for pushing forth to ensure that this comes to a conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, I've seen the issues raised by the Leader of Opposition and by Dr. Rude, the Chairman, Committee on Health, are issues which are going to form part of your consultations, which you report back to Cabinet and also to this House. You don't need to go into commitments, and just you can use 1 minute, because my time is very, very limited.
So thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Just clarify a few things in 1 minute, like you have guided. Did I take it personal? No. At one point, I was the most abused minister in this country when I used to be a spokesperson for the government. But we never take these personal. These are issues of duty, so Leader of Opposition, don't mind. Now, I just want to clarify one thing. What we suspended was that provision on facilitation of the interns for 6 months, pending the comprehensive review we are going to do. But the policy remains. That's why I even tabled it, and laid it on the table for Parliament. So the comprehensive policy remains, and it is a good policy, like I said in my remarks. And we shall carry out comprehensive consultations, including the Committee of Health and the members of Parliament, so that we address those issues of the welfare of the human resource for health. I think the issue of, yes, senior house officers, these are doctors who are doing master's programs. They also face the same challenge. They will be part of the comprehensive review that we are doing. Accommodation. Some hospitals have accommodation for the interns, but because of the growing numbers, you will find some are accommodated, others have to rent. We are going to work.
Honourable Minister, conclude. Conclude, Honourable Minister.
So we are going to work with the directors of the various hospitals where these interns are deployed, so that we help with the management of the hospitals to get accommodation which is near enough and safe enough, because we would not want any of these interns to die, like our chair has said, because he's staying in an area which is not safe or maybe far from the hospital. So we are going to work with the management of the various hospitals to ensure that our interns are safe, and also they live where possible as near the hospital or within the hospital premises as much as possible. Maybe for the leader of opposition, I didn't qualify 40 years ago. I'm a young man. I graduated, for the record, I graduated, I joined Makerere in 1990 and completed 1995. I didn't repeat. So
I hope Honourable Senyonyi was already born by then.
yes.
I hope so.
So by that calculation, I am the bridge which connects the young and the old. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, honourable colleagues, this is not an issue I intended for debate. If it was an issue intended for debate, I would ask for a statement. Okay? That's why I asked for a mayor update. So the rest, let's follow up. Now, Right Honourable Prime Minister, I guided ministers. There are critical decisions you take in cabinet, okay? And having far-reaching impact on our people. I request whenever you do that, you should always come and update us here, so that they don't come here by rumor, complaints, and you be preemptive on some of those issues, so that you can even give the reasoning behind your decisions, and we move with you. But now, if you don't do that, then as people's representatives, we go, we pick it from the public. Sometimes we don't pick it fully, sometimes we pick it fully. So I request that you always urge your ministers on such a critical decisions to come and update the House, so that we can add value where necessary, but we get a way of informing our people and explaining the situation. Now, honourable colleagues, the Minister for Finance today has a very important meeting, but I told him that I needed his item on 3.2 to be sorted out. It's a very, very short statement. Let's dispose it off, and then we go on a debate on energy. Clerk.
Item 3.2. Statement on the criteria and procedure for accessing the tax waivers, remission of tax under Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act, CAP 343.
Minister for Finance, we shall use a short time, then we go on the debate for energy, electricity.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I wish to present a statement on the criteria and procedure for accessing the tax waivers under Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act, CAP 343. Right Honourable Speaker, during the 9th sitting of the first meeting of the first session of the 12th Parliament, held on Tuesday, 14th July 2026, I undertook to present a detailed statement to the House explaining the criteria and procedure of how taxpayers can access tax waivers, remissions under Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, the primary objective of tax administration is to collect all the tax assessed lawfully in a manner that is efficient, fair, equitable, and consistent with the law. However, during implementation of tax administration processes, some taxpayers face challenges that inhibit them from paying their respective tax liability. In most cases, for a number of years, the tax liability remains on the taxpayer's ledger, raising audit queries. The tax law recognizes this challenge and spells out how to address it through providing a tax waiver after satisfactory justification. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, before a decision is made, Uganda Revenue Authority tries as much as possible to correct the tax liability through effective strategies, including early interventions, installment payment arrangement, prioritized enforcement, recovery from available non-essential assets, offset against credits or any other lawful arrangement, deferred payment, and temporary suspension of recovery where applicable. It is in exceptional circumstances that the remission of liabilities that cannot be effectively recovered is recommended. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this is in line with Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act, which provides that where a Commissioner General is of the opinion that the whole or part of the tax liability cannot be effectively recovered by reason of hardship, impossibility, and due difficulty, or the excessive cost to recovery, the Commissioner General may refer the matter to the Minister responsible for Finance. If satisfied, the Minister responsible for Finance may in turn submit the proposal to Parliament for approval of the remission of the whole or part of the tax liability. Mr. Speaker, the remission provided for under Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act enables government to avoid spending public resources on recovery that is unlikely to yield meaningful revenue. The relief is also intended to support business recovery and enable businesses to continue operating without distress from the tax liability. The decision to remit the tax liability is exercised sparingly, fairly, and equitably, transparently, and consistently. Right Honorable Speaker, the process begins when a taxpayer makes an application to the Commissioner General requesting for a tax waiver in line with the law. The application includes the taxpayer's tax liability, which includes principal tax, interest, and penalty, the grounds for waiver, and amount sought to be remitted, and provides relevant financial, insolvency, asset, or other evidence to support the tax waiver. The Commissioner General then evaluates the application and independently determines whether the liability cannot be effectively recovered in line with the law. When satisfied, the Commissioner General refers the matter to the Minister responsible for Finance with the evidence, amount proposed for the remission, reasons, fiscal implications, and considerations for alternatives. Honorable Speaker and members, upon receipt of the letter recommending a tax waiver from Commissioner General, the Minister responsible for Finance reviews the case and may request further information if necessary. All the relevant information is analyzed in line with the law. If satisfied, submit the proposal for remission to Parliament seeking approval. The Parliament then debates the merits and demerits of granting the remission and determines whether the whole or part of the tax liability should be remitted or not. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, when Parliament approves the minister's request, the tax waiver is then gazetted, and after the gazette, it is implemented by Uganda Revenue Authority by adjusting the taxpayer's ledger accordingly. What is the criteria for approving the waiver? Mr. Speaker, sir, and members, the taxpayer may be considered for remission only where the Commissioner General is satisfied on the basis of credible, current, and verifiable evidence that the whole or part of the tax liability cannot be effectively recovered by reason of hardship, impossibility, undue difficulty, or excessive cost of recovery in line with the law. To that end, the criteria includes the following. 1, Mr. Speaker, is hardship. This test is satisfied when it is determined that payment of a liability or continued recovery action would impose serious and demonstrate financial distress that is disproportionate to the revenue likely to be realized. The question is whether the liability can reasonably be collected without depriving the taxpayer or taxpayers' dependents of the basic necessities or affecting an otherwise viable business. In determining hardship, URA considers all relevant circumstances, including number 1, for individuals, URA considers whether payment would deprive a taxpayer or a taxpayer's dependents of reasonable access to food, accommodation, clothing, medical care, education, or other essential living requirements. The relevant circumstances may include serious illness or disability, permanent incapacity, loss of employment or livelihood, exceptional medical expenses, death of the principal income earner, natural disasters, or other catastrophic events, and any other circumstance resulting in genuine financial distress. When it is a business, URA considers current liquidity and cash flow, realistic access to finance, working capital requirements, existing financial obligations, the viability of the enterprise, the likely effect of recovery on employment, production, and future tax compliance, and whether enforcement would unnecessarily affect an otherwise viable business. Mr. Speaker and members, hardship does not include temporary cash flow constraints, reduced profitability, commercial inconvenience, a preference to use available funds for expansion or investment, dissatisfaction with the assessment, or a mere unwillingness to pay. During the analysis, URA also considers the extent to which the taxpayer contributed to the creation or escalation of the tax liability. The determination considers whether there was fraud, deliberate tax evasion, concealment of assets, and reckless disregard of tax obligations or serious corporate governance failures. These weigh in strongly against the remission. Another factor is impossibility or recovery. Here, the recovery is impossible where there is no realistic legal or practical means by which the liability can be recovered, either presently or within the foreseeable future. Impossibility may arise where, 1, an individual has died leaving no estate to recover the tax liability from. 2, a company has been dissolved or fully liquidated without assets. 3, bankruptcy or insolvency proceedings leave no dividend available for government. 5, the taxpayer cannot be located after reasonable and documented efforts. 5, there are no recoverable assets against which enforcement may lawfully be taken. 6, legal barriers permanently prevent recovery. And 7, any other circumstances that render recovery objectively unattainable. Another factor is undue difficulty. Right Honorable Speaker, undue difficulty exists where the recovery remains possible in theory but would rather require measures that are unreasonable, disproportionate, and likely to produce a satisfactory fiscal outcome. Here, URA considers 1, the complexity and duration of the proposed enforcement, 2, the location, ownership, and value of available assets, 3, legal and evidential obstacles, 4, the likely amount and timely recovered, 5, the taxpayer's ability to comply under the structured arrangement, 6, the effect of enforcement on a viable business, employment, or essential services, and 7, whether the government action or administrative failure contributed materially to the accumulation of the liability. Another factor is excessive cost of recovery. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the recovery cost is excessive where the anticipated public expenditure and administrative effort are disproportionate to the amount likely to be collected. The assessment includes staff time, litigation, tracing, valuation, storage, receivership, auction, and cross-border enforcement costs. The comparison between the expected net recovery and the total likely cost is done to determine the net gain. Mr. Speaker, other additional considerations that may include the following. 1, the taxpayer's compliance history, whether the liability, 2 is whether the liability arose from fraud, concealment, deliberate default, genuine error, or circumstances beyond the taxpayer's control. 3, the taxpayer's cooperation and disclosure of assets. 4, the previous payment arrangements and the efforts to comply. 5, whether the taxpayer dissipated assets to defeat recovery. 6, the economic and social consequences of enforcement. 7, the taxpayer's contribution to employment, essential services, or national deployment. And 8, whether the partial rather than full remission would achieve a fair result. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the remission or waiver provided for under Section 43 is an important instrument of revenue administration rather than an exception to the tax laws. It recognizes that the objective of tax administration is to ensure the greatest practicable net revenue while administering the law fairly, consistently, and efficiently. By establishing objective criteria, transparent procedures, and clear institutional responsibilities, this policy seeks to ensure that remission is exercised only in those exceptional cases where continued recovery no longer serves the interest of sound tax administration or the public interest. In doing so, it preserves confidence in the integrity of Uganda's tax system while ensuring that the statutory discretion conferred by Parliament is exercised in a principled, accountable, and consistent manner. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Karim Masaba, Honorable Nakiye, Honorable Javira, then Huh? Oh, yes. Timugawa, Timugiwe, then Kungu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and I do want to thank the Minister.
And the Chief Whip. We conclude with that.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
2 minutes each.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable, and I do want to thank the Minister for the statement. I just have about 3 points. One is where the law is being abused by the Minister and his team. Why? I would assume it's being misused. When you look at the hardship, it did not come out clear under what hardship. Right Honorable, we've seen cases where they are bringing these waivers. For example, on rental tax, someone has been sick for a while and the minister states that this person is under difficult conditions, but the person owns properties in Kampala and those properties are still earning, they are still earning income from them. So why would they bring such a waiver? The other incident I've seen that concerns pay as you earn, where the minister brings waivers for taxes like pay as you earn, which taxes are deducted. So the employer is more of someone who is just keeping this money on behalf of government. He's receiving it from his employees and remit it to government. So these cases, in my view, some of them are not justifiable. Right Honorable, when you look at Section 41 of the TPC, the allocation rule, this is something that URA should be implementing, but currently many people are facing challenges because this law is not implemented quite well. When I pay my tax, it is supposed to first go and clear my principal, then the penal tax and interest later on. But you'll find that someone's taxes keep accumulating because URA wants to clear some of the interest, some of the penal tax, and some of the outstanding principal. So they keep accumulating, and in the end, many people fail to pay these taxes. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker and members, I've seen scenarios where URA and the Ministry of Finance, they're demanding people taxes in over 20 years back. For someone is being demanded taxes of 2013, 2010, and yet in the laws that we made in the previous Parliament, we put a provision where anyone who has an outstanding tax as of 2016, the entire tax, the principal, the penalties, and everything should be cleared off. And then those of you who are clearing off your taxes in this current financial year, as long as you pay your outstanding principal, they should waive off the entire interest and penalty. But we see people still being demanded these huge sums.
Thank you. Naki.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I've had the privilege of looking at the applications for tax waivers as a member of the Finance Committee and as Karim.
And please, you don't discuss.
Yes, I'm not going into the details.
Yes.
I'm giving a general view. Now, my concern has been, for example, you have a supplier who has supplied goods to one company, and say the invoice is 100 million. When they are paying this person, they are going to pay 94 million. They are retaining 6 million as withholding tax. Then this entity which has retained the 6 million is failing to remit the 6 million to URA. And yet this person is supposed to be credited in URA under his account because the 6 million is supposed to help him to offset future taxes. Now, if you don't remit, that is theft. They are simply stealing people's money because you have collected the 6%, but you have refused to remit to URA, and you are claiming that you have difficulty because you have used the money maybe to buy an iPhone for your girlfriend. So that is not our problem. This House must therefore pronounce itself that in case of waivers, they should apply to other taxes, but not withholding tax because that is money for third parties. It is not for the entities. Thank you.
I hope there is no one who is whom they are bringing on the floor. Because withholding means if you are supposed to pay me 1 million, okay, you're going to pay me 940,000, you remain with my 60,000, which you remit URA, and then when I have future tax obligations, I come and reconcile with URA. Now, for companies which are withholding tax exempted, you pay them free. So how come you got money to pay this one free, and then mine which you took away under the law, you can't remit it? I hope no one is asking for such an exemption. That would be weird. I would be interested to understand more how that would happen. I've already picked the colleagues to speak. It was Honorable Javira next, then Honorable Timugiwi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I thank the Minister for this criteria, because the whole country has been asking, how are these tax waivers given? How are the taxpayers selected for these tax waivers? But I wanted to note a few things. First of all, on the arrangement of the document. Honorable Speaker, in March last year, the Minister presented another similar document that's about the governance framework for tax expenditures. And that document was well arranged, indicating the objectives. We have copies here that we derived from your website. Yes, and they are presented by the Minister. So that document indicated very well the objectives, the rationale, but this one leaves the readers to fish out these very important introductory statements, which the Minister should have clarified in his presentation. The other issue, Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister also doesn't clearly state the responsibilities of the key stakeholders in these documents. For instance, the taxpayer, and the ministry, URA, and so on and so forth. I think it would have been prudent.
Thank you. Honorable Timugiwi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Uganda Revenue Authority always tracks it and has data on compliance of VAT, on how many people are not filing up, or entities, including individuals. But we have never seen any system showing how many people are actually not claiming, or how many entities are not claiming for the VAT. And that report has also never been brought here by the Minister of Finance. VAT is supposed to be claimed back. So what happens to that money? There are many people who are not claiming. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, in most of the international airports, you find that there is a clear channel on how foreign nationals can claim back their tax before exiting the country. In our airport at Entebbe, we do not see that. Because people who have purchased, who have valid receipts, are supposed to claim back before departure in their country. What systems are there in place? And in terms of waivers, we have seen some medical workers, including the nurses, who are actually being charged even taxes on their allowance, as little as even lunch allowance. What is the ministry doing in trying to help them with the little pay they get, including the ones of the interns here? We have seen they get 1.2 and they lose over 200,000 on taxes. What is the ministry doing on trying to help some of our medical interns and workers in waiving the taxes as little as even on lunch allowance? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Moiru. Then Honorable Kungu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and Honorable Minister, for the statement in the format it has been described by our Shadow Minister. Right Honorable Speaker and the Minister, you've talked about waivers, but this statement falls short of talking about the blue paper by the President, where the President, the Minister of Finance, pays taxes for selected or specified business people. So I want to know how does people access for Minister of Finance? What is the criteria for Minister of Finance paying for selected business people taxes? Because you are telling us which is provided for in the schedule as waivers, and the one which is moved by the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority, if it has been applied, but you are not speaking to those blue papers. Maybe also your statement would show us how many people have benefited from the blue paper and how they were actually arrived at. I thank you.
Yeah, but only, why don't we limit ourselves? Because I say I don't want the minister to be accused of answering what he has not been. You see, this was a requirement by the floor. He was guided on what to bring.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the statement is talking about a waiver. If I'm supposed to pay a tax, and the Minister of Finance undertakes to pay my tax, it is in a waiver. It is a waiver in a way.
But no, there is a difference between a waiver and an exemption. Yes, because we provide all these. Let the minister, okay, I request Honorable Muiru that the minister be limited to what we told him to do. And then maybe we can ask for more information, okay, if needed, if we wanted to widen the scope.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the exemptions are within the law, and the schedule of the relevant act provides for the exemptions. And the waivers we're talking about, it is also provided for under the law, which is recommended by the Commissioner General URA on instance of the taxpayer. But there are also waivers, the minister has understood them, where blue papers fly to Minister of Finance, and Minister of Finance pays.
Okay. Now, to play safe, Honorable Muir has said the minister has understood them. So, you, the presiding officer, you have not understood. The minister has understood. So, Honorable Minister, you will explain what you've understood. Honorable Kungu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Once again, I'm Kungu Samuel. I represent the people of Chigulu North Constituency in Uganda District. Right Honorable Speaker, I got the opportunity of working with the Uganda Revenue Authority for 12 years. And during that time, I noticed that this is one of the sections of the law which is highly abused because it is not really definite. As you've seen, the definition is, the minister used here, the definition of hardship and so on are not defined in the Act. The indicators he gave us here are not here. Right Honorable Speaker, we want the Act to be specific. Let there be a practice note so that we know what is hardship. We don't want a situation where someone says, this is hardship, this is not hardship. Because the section says, if the Commissioner General is of the opinion, this is opinion. We don't want subjectivity in these words. Let there be a practice notes to define this, I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Katavazi, then Honorable Seke. We conclude with Honorable Seke.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make my comments on the statement delivered by the Minister. I want to thank the Minister for giving us a starting point, especially for members of Parliament sitting on the Finance Committee and members of Parliament generally. Right Honorable Speaker, the statement is talking about hardships, but is not expanding to look at the protective measures against this potential abuse, because there could be those individuals who might transfer assets, who might decide to move assets out of this country, and the person is creating artificial hardships. So we need this to be expanded to include those protections so that we give waivers to those who deserve them. There's also an issue of government hardship and administrative lapses that the Minister talked about. This needs also to be expanded. There could be those hardships that are occasioned by government delay, for example, to pay a supplier. You know, tax on accrual basis. You have supplied, you have indicated this as income earned, and the URA has registered it, and then it starts attracting penalties, and government takes 10 years to pay. Those are some of the hardships that we might talk about. Then there's no hardships that come through administrative lapses. You go to URA, you go to objections, they send you to ADR, from ADR, Tax Appeals Tribunal, to mediation. And then you discover that some of the solutions that you are looking at, URA is not in position to give you a remedy. URA is simply tossing you up and about. So I think some of those complaints that are relating to genuine administrative.
Thank you. Honorable Seke. Then, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Minister, thank you very much for the statement. Right Honourable Speaker, there is a particular category of taxpayers that the Minister is not talking about. When the government started distributing coffee seeds, a supplier was required to open a TIN number because they were doing business. But once this program stopped, these people were not submitting returns. But each time, each year, URA continues sending assessments, and these monies keep on increasing. And when you look at this person, stopped business long time ago, but money keeps on increasing. Where do they go? I hope probably those ones would benefit from the tax waivers. I tried to take some of my farmers to the URA, but we are not helped. So I want the Honourable Minister to help us. How do we address this? Because the money keeps on increasing, but they are not able to pay. Thank you.
Now, Honourable Minister, this matter, you very well know, you've been here. I think it is an issue of trust and fairness. People believing that for you to get a tax waiver, you have to be connected. Okay? And that's because when we go back, we ask questions. We receive people asking, how can a taxpayer from Mitoma, from Ik, from Kabong, from where, get on this list? Because when you look at the people who are benefiting, Kampala, so the big guys who are around. So, and yet we have very, very small people who are even struggling most. Number two, when you go, maybe this time I think we should instruct the Committee on Finance. I had seen the chair here. That since the minister has given very clear parameters, before bring us a report, go visit these businesses, establish. You'll find some of them are doing extremely well. There are some who are genuinely struggling, but you'll find some who are doing well. Okay, but it goes with the proverbial verse in the Bible, where those who have, that's a feeling of the people. That's a general feeling of the people. So, Honourable Minister, I request that you look into that issue deeply, of trust of people believing that there is a fair process which can be accessed by anyone, small or big, and they can have a chance. Not only the big connected people who have access to URA, to the ministry, to the president, that can benefit. Honourable Minister? Now, if Rob, I had sat on Dr. Wakida, so if I'm to allow you, I'll allow Dr. Wakida, because he has been behind some of these studies for some time. Dr. Wakida, then I allow Rob, then the Minister responds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of tax waiver have been defined. Unfortunately, we will be seeking clarity from the minister, because out of those clarities, you get a lot of money lost. If you look at the reports from the Auditor General, right from 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, it all talks about government losing revenue due to abuse of tax exemptions and waivers. There is inadequate monitoring. Even the ministry itself admitted that 1.3 trillion in waivers could not be accounted for in 2024-2025. 1.3 trillion in waivers. I'll give you the report. When you read the PAC reports of 2024-2025, it also talks about how the ministry is giving away taxes and getting nothing in return. The bottom line, Honorable Minister, you are not being duped by the taxpayers, but the policy we make in this House will help the Minister of Finance. It will help all of those people in the revenue collection to solve this problem. But let me ask the Honorable Minister here. Honorable Minister, if this House asked you to table for us the performance report for the last 50 at least for the 50 companies that got investment waivers, how many jobs were created against what had promised? Can you please give us that report?
Thank you. Point of order is Ingoma? No. The member is gone. Honorable
Mr. Speaker, the minister's statement, firstly, we are glad we are getting this update, even though we are saying there should be room to improve. There's a lot of ambiguity. When you mention reasons like hardship, illness, inability, and all of these different, they are ambiguous. And yet they should not be, especially for the public which is seeking to benefit, so that they get to know this is what hardship means. That means I can qualify, so let me apply. But it's not clear. Mr. Speaker, the other element that is missing, which is very critical, I don't know why the minister, or the ministry for that matter anyway, does not do post-waiver evaluation, so that it informs decisions on future requests. So you need to establish these waivers that we allowed. What was the impact on the economy? Did they do what we intended, saving jobs? Those are some of the reasons. Government says this company, if it closes down, we are going to lose all these jobs and so on. Do you actually go and do a post-waiver analysis to establish, did we actually save these jobs? Or did we enrich a particular individual? It's important that that gets to happen. Finally, Mr. Speaker, in the last parliament, we spoke ourselves hoarse. We spoke our voices hoarse on a couple of issues. That there are, apart from the waivers, there are private companies to which government extends support, saying they are heavily indebted, they are about to crumble, and yet they employ many people. And so government says, let's give them a shot in the arm. And we kept wondering, when is government going to come up with a comprehensive criteria, a modus operandi that is known?
Conclude, Lop, conclude.
That people know, and these companies, that we can apply for support. Government gave Day Biopharma industry 724 billion shillings. And I'm told now they are asking for extra 1.6 trillion. And there's no clarity yet on where is the value for money. Government gave a Tiak sugar factory 768 billion shillings. Up to now, there's no sugar coming out of there. Inspire Africa Coffee Factory in Ntungamo was given 180 billion shillings. Roko, 266 billion shillings. And we hear from some of the people who work at these companies that some have gone for months without even being paid. And yet government was saying, you're heavily indebted, let's support you so that these jobs are not lost. Government said, we are buying stake. Did you actually establish the value of this company? And there is no report on all these different things. How does company X know I can also benefit the way Day Biopharma, Atiak, Inspire, and so on get to benefit? These things are not clear. And by the way, government, you end up struggling. So people begin to accuse you to say, this Day Biopharma, this Inspire, it must be owned by a powerful person in government. And yet that might not even be true. But when there is no clarity so that others get to benefit, it becomes a problem.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank colleagues for the input they have made on my statement. Mr. Speaker, I want to start with the Honorable Joel Senyonyi. Mr. Speaker, we passed a law here called the Investment Code Act. It defines all the incentives we extend to our investors. And also, every year, we pass tax laws. In the Investment Code Act, we said tax incentives will always be provided for in various tax laws. And Mr. Speaker, when you refer to our tax laws in place, they define most of these concerns members have been provided by this House in the law. For example, we say if you are investing in hotel business of a certain investment capital, here are the following incentives, exemptions that you will be given. So, therefore, Honorable Senyonyi, except for the exceptional circumstances, I can come here and explain. Those which are not already in the existing laws, I can study the exemptions we have given, the exemptions or the incentives we have given, then I come back and explain. I want to touch the ambiguity element together with what Honorable Chichoncho Katabazi, in Kabale we call him KP, is the MP for Chiga. The ambiguity element, Mr. Speaker, yes, every colleague here has a right to be suspicious. When there is suspicion, what is the remedy for suspicion? The remedy for suspicion is controls. If you are managing an entity, in order to prevent me from doing what I'm not supposed to do, you put controls in place. What controls have we put in place to ensure that this aspect of suspicion, protection from abuse is dealt with? Mr. Speaker, as I explained, we start with URA. From URA to finance. From finance you come to Parliament. And then eventually a decision is arrived at. At every stage, this criteria I have defined should be checked. That is the importance of internal control mechanisms. And where you find a loophole, you flag it. You say, no, here, this one should not qualify because of the following reasons. And Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the House that there are very many unqualifying companies which want to move along this section of the law, which have failed to pass the test. Even in this Parliament here, I remember last Parliament, I brought a company. I will not mention the name because it is in business. No. But I know Parliament rejected my request because they subjected this company to this criteria and it could not meet the test. And I conceded. So, Mr. Speaker, another question. Honorable Wakida, Doctor, we need to differentiate between a tax waiver and a tax exemption. Most of the companies you are referring to fall under the category of tax exemption. So the exemption lists the companies, the 50, together with the job creation. I am going to bring you to do a study for the House and come back here and present the 50 companies who have given waivers and how the waivers have benefited this economy. That information, Right Honorable Speaker, I can provide. The one of tea seedlings, I don't have information with me now. Honorable Mwiru, Paul, accessing tax waiver through a blue letter. Yes, it is true. The President is the chief executive of this country, and he listens to the concerns of the people of Uganda. But when he sends a blue letter, the last paragraph mainly is asking me to ascertain whether the law, whether what he wishes to provide fits within the law. So I must make sure that the presidential directive is implemented in accordance with this criteria which I have given. If it doesn't meet the criteria, I write back. I go back to him and say, Sir, Your Excellency, this taxpayer wished to have this, but the law provides otherwise, and I advise how best the taxpayer can be helped. Then there is another colleague. I think my first response also catered for the MP from Chiguru. Then there is on taxation of allowances, lunch allowance. Mr. Speaker, Section 19 of the Income Tax Act provides for employment income. And employment income includes, it is basic salary plus other allowances, which includes lunch allowance. So, Mr. Chair, we are not doing, sorry, Mr. Speaker, we are not doing anything outside the law. Whatever we are taxing is in accordance with the law which Parliament has considered and passed. Key stakeholders in the process, Honorable Isaac, I will find out, I'm not in practice now, I will find out what unclaimed VAT, especially at the airport, how we deal with it, the treatment of VAT which is not claimed. I have taken your concern. The tax expenditure framework by Honorable Javira, which we have on our website. I think also Honorable Akida saw that website. Mr. Speaker, this is a comprehensive report that deals with exemptions, remissions, waivers, and all the other things we do. And I think, let me say this. These exemptions are always reviewed to check whether they are meeting the economic objectives. And where we find that a certain exemption has lived its usefulness, we normally come back here seeking termination. So I will be, in the second half of the year, when we are considering the budget, I look forward to having more engagements and give you a report to those we feel they are doing well and should be maintained, and those we propose to terminate. And today I was meeting with the business sector we had the regional industrialization conference. The key issue here coming out, and which we shall consult the private sector further about, is they want equal treatment. They want this principle of taxation to apply, equity. If a manufacturer X is getting an incentive or an exemption and is in the production of a product which is being produced by another manufacturer Y, who is paying, not getting, this brings unfairness in the market. And they have asked me to find ways of bringing uniformity in the business environment by addressing some of these challenges. Mr. Speaker, pay as you earn, should be paid when it falls due. We are telling you this company is sick. We are telling you these companies we are facilitating are sick. So when you are sick, sometimes you fail to eat, or you eat what you are not supposed to eat, including pay as you earn for the people whom you are supposed to pay it for. Honorable Karim, we implement tax laws as they are. If we passed a law that we shall offset all those obligations which fell due from 2016 and below. And this was done here by me and you not long ago in May. So allow me time to implement the law. The tax laws of May came into force in July. Give me 3 months, I come back and give you feedback. But we shall implement the laws as they were passed by Parliament. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I submit.
Thank you. Now, colleagues, you've seen, we cannot just leave it to the minister alone. Section 43 of the Tax Procedures Code Act gives us enough power to scrutinize deeply. So, we are part of the steps. So, Honorable Max Ochai, I know you know this very, very well. So I think for any tax exemptions that we bring reports on here for approval, we should include visiting the companies. Yeah, visiting the companies, seeing whether they still even exist, seeing how they are state. If we find you have capacity to do your work and recover, we shouldn't be giving you that waiver, you know. Otherwise, it's causing us many problems. Some people coming, petitioning you, I need a waiver. So I hope we do a thorough job using the law. So colleagues, let's go back to our item on electricity. These were also very critical items. I think we've done a good job in this short time on these critical issues. Now, on this item, Kirak first call the item, then I guide.
Item 3.1, statement on rural electrification in the country.
Yeah, honorable colleagues, the minister reached out to me and said that there is a part which he had not worked on and he felt during the debate, we are touching it, part of what they are doing and the projects they have in the pipeline. I remember I had asked him to tell us about that. So, honorable minister, I can give you 10 minutes. You update us on that, and then we continue with the debate. Honorable Nsamba is asking, are you changing the statement, or this is an addendum or addition? And it's uploaded.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm not changing the item. It is actually, I presented the past. That was rare. I didn't get an opportunity to present what the Rural Electrification Department is doing and what has been packaged for the future.
Honorable, that's a misrepresentation. When you say you didn't get an opportunity, your whole statement was captured. You didn't bring that. You have brought it today, and I'm allowing you to do it.
Thank you.
I'm being generous, so don't portray me wrongly.
Thank you.
Procedure, Honorable Nsamba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Speaker. Mr. Honorable Speaker, we need to be very careful with this minister.
Don't point at him. You're scaring him. Okay?
Right, Honorable. He was the minister when polls were delivered to people's constituencies. Because of the pressure the members of parliament were putting up. After the elections, those polls were picked in some constituencies and taken away. Now, I am worried, Right Honorable Speaker, because of the pressure the members have put up, he might have concocted something to give promise to members so that the members everybody can calm down, and at the end of the day, nothing will be done. Right Honorable Speaker, are we proceeding well when we gave this minister time to present a statement and he presented the whole of it, and now he's bringing an addendum and we want to accept it? Are we proceeding well, Right Honorable?
Now, Honorable, the minister said he presented the past. Okay? Now he wanted to update you with the present and the future. And also, I think you can be kind enough not to accuse the minister of concocting in anticipation. Why don't you clarify that? Because concocting is a strong word. And then we give him a chance, he presents,
Maybe, Right Honorable, I used a wrong word, maybe. But I meant that this ministry is fond of lying to members.
Oh, that's even worse.
I want him to confirm that what he's going to present before we accept that it is not another lie.
Can we say
yes,
this minister maybe is not used to fulfilling what he tells us here? Because the situations can make you fail to fulfill what you tell.
You know, Right Honorable, I have some blood of the Wachiga. Sometimes I say things the way I feel them. So he can confirm to us that this is the truth, and members, whatever they promise is going to happen in members' constituencies. Otherwise, Right Honorable, many members of Parliament lost elections because of accusations of not doing work when the ministry was given opportunity, and they just move on like that. Okay, so I'm just worried, Right Honorable.
Yeah, I was cautious of not applying Rule 86 on anticipation. Because we shouldn't anticipate and say, Honorable Minister, I know you, what you're going to present is... So let's give him a benefit of doubt. The Minister presents, and then we debate what he presents. Honorable Minister, this is an addendum for purposes of the Hansard team.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, my colleague, who have always worked together. So new projects which are actually, which have commenced, projects which have commenced, going by what we debated. Rural electrification project funded by government of Uganda. We have 7 lots. These 7 lots are ongoing, and the cost is 145 billion. And you approved the release of that money. And that project is covering Lot 8 and Lot 4, covering those continuity from Lot 8 and Lot 4 of the rural electrification. And that project covers major parts of the country. And this is the project where I received 30 billion shillings at the end of the budget. And as we talk, many contractors who are on those lots are actually out in the field working. And many of you have actually thanked me for those projects to be on board. Number 2, and it's in Annex 15 in the big document. Then we have electrification of small and medium enterprises funded again by government of Uganda. This one is actually meant to deliver electricity to small and micro enterprises that were developed by government, especially in agriculture. There are so many mini factories. Honorable Kibasanga talked about it. We have a project which is going to take electricity to those small and micro enterprises. We have another project, additional grid extension works to power lines constructed under African Development Bank. This work includes the construction of 35.39 kilometers of medium voltages, and this one is mainly addressing western Uganda, midwestern, south and southwestern Uganda territories. And if you look at Annex 16, you'll actually find the areas which are covered by this project, and some of the questions raised that there are standing polls, it's work going on in those areas. Projects funded by development partners, this electricity access scale-up, this was a subject of our discussion which I presented the first day. I don't need to repeat that presentation. You know what it covers, but I'll go to the next project. Grade densification program phase 2 funded by KfW. This is a grant by German government. It's one of the projects being undertaken in regards to the grid densification program. What does that mean? Densification is where there are medium voltage lines but they are not transformers. The areas which you said electricity goes through over urban areas, but without any electrification. This project is meant to now drop the transformers in the various parts of the country where electricity is running above the institution, especially the medium voltage, injection of transformers. And what causes the line moving, skipping some parts? Development is running very fast in this country. We may have taken a line aiming to take to a sub-county, but as we took electricity to the sub-county, there are certain centers which have developed and they require electrification now. This project is meant to provide transformers such that those areas get electrified. I would want, this part is actually very important for us, the projects which are being developed. And these are the projects which are looking more to answering a question like the one Honorable Akorikin raised. What is it? How can we now electrify? This is where we need to pay more attention. There is Uganda Rural Electrification Access Project Phase 2. And this one is going to cover 49 districts. And they are going to have 259.7 thousand kilometers of medium voltage. And this one is going to target 352 schools. And this is an area of our concern. And then it is also going to cover 282 health centers and 537 small-scale enterprises. This is where you'd want actually to cover whatever developments you are having in your constituencies. This is a project which is going to come to you for approval. It is going to be funded by African Development Bank. The project is ready. Number 2, Last Mile Electrification Support Project. This one is also meant to cover 34 districts countrywide we are going to select. And it is a budget of 9.5 billion. And again, it is going to cover schools, it is going to cover health centers, and then 100 small and medium enterprises with a 413 kilometers of medium voltage, 1,964 of low voltage. Project number 3, which is coming, grade expansion to support parish development model. This is where we expect the MPs to actually see that the parish development model.
Minister, at what stage are these projects?
They are coming.
These are issues which only are concerned about. At what stage are they?
They have actually been packaged, and these are the ones I'm coming for approval in Parliament.
So they already passed cabinet?
They have actually passed the Development Committee of Ministry of Finance. So they are actually projects which are coming.
So you're already engaging the funders?
Yes.
Okay, go on. No, Honorable Kwizera, I'll give you a chance. I know your issue. I'll give you a chance to raise it. Just go on. Because when I kept, because I don't want us to debate in anticipation. Our rules stop us from that, and I don't want us to commit. And someone comes and says, no, we went, we told you we had a project, but we looked for money, the funder failed. So that's why I was asking, at what stage are they?
Done the initial preparatory discussions with the funders. That's why I'm even talking about the funders.
Okay.
Now, I'm actually alerting the members of Parliament. These are projects which are in the offing, and we should pay more attention to them when they come. So that's the reason I'm giving you these projects. And
Procedure on Narima.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the statement that the minister is presenting, which he called an addendum, it's part of the statement he delivered to us last time. So won't it be procedure right? We present our matters. Since for him, he already knows every content of his statement, and he left it with us. So won't it be procedure right? We present our issues, then for him, he can come back and rectify and he'll tell us.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, the MPs are saying they've read because you applauded everything. So they are saying we would rather now go on debate. You capture their issues. I don't know if you're comfortable with that, Honourable Minister.
If they have actually read, because most of the questions, like they didn't read in the initial debate, and yet the papers were presented to you. So that's okay, let's proceed to debate.
Thank you. The Minister is ready. I'll start with Honourable Linus Ngopek. I go to Dr. Musa Noah. I go to Honourable Cadet. I go to Ik, Hilary Rokwang. And then I come to Mr. Msingu's here. Colleagues, don't mind, I'm just first picking this side, then after I come this side, okay? Don't stretch. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Patrick, please. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, it's very interesting. For example, our dear minister here, we have issues at Karuma because Karuma hosts the biggest dam, providing the biggest power output, or on the national grid. We provide 600 megawatts of power at the dam. But 15 years down the road, the PAPs have not been compensated or have never been compensated. And yet, whenever the minister gets to know that the president is about to visit the district, the minister comes before time just to do PR. Now, if we are talking about electricity to the rural population, and then also electricity to the people who are affected by the project, our PAPs in Karuma for the last 15 years have not been paid or compensated. And most of them are old people, they're dying. Some of them are people who migrated from the LRA war from northern Uganda to Karuma, Bunyoro. But until today, they have not been compensated. And here we are talking about rural electrification. Of course, when you engage the minister, he paints, okay, for us in Kiriandong, we refer to him as Chemical Ali. Remember the Chemical Ali, yes, who was in Saddam Hussein's government, who would do a lot of PR.
Why don't you leave those issues in Kiriandong, Honorable, instead of clarifying them on the... You can just... You can conclude on a line.
It's the pain that we're going
I know
through.
The pain.
Our people should be compensated. The president came there when he was to commission the project. That was in 2024. I remember in September. The president asked them to engage the population and arrange a meeting between the PAPs and the president. But up to today...
Honorable, we put money in the budget, in this year's budget. Okay? So maybe on a worker side can...
They gave us 10 billion, but compensation needs about 60 billion because for them they want to construct houses for these pups and relocate them to a national park in Nwoya.
Okay.
But we don't want that. At least let them give people money. Even if they give us 50 million per family, it's better than constructing a house at the national park where animals will also come to chase away people.
Thank you.
The place is called Lapono in Nwoya, but we are not comfortable with that. Let them give these old people money or compensation, then we go and buy land elsewhere and construct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Honourable Minister, I don't want this issue swallowed up. Let's sort this issue now. But information is given to a member on the floor. That's what our rules say.
Right, Honourable Speaker. What Honorable Linus is talking about is a case which is at its conclusion. The money was released and we are actually taking the PAPs to show their land where the houses are going to be built, and the plans for the houses have actually been approved by government. And for the fear of wildlife, it is going, that area is going to be fenced with an electric wire. So,
Honourable Minister, why don't you engage leaders from the region? Okay, why? Can you engage with the leaders? Can you call the Honourable Linosis? Because me, I'll be giving him space on the floor if you don't do that.
Right, Honourable Speaker, the Committee of Environment and Natural Resources is actually scheduled to be in that region on Friday. And one of the things we are going to talk is actually today, the PAPs, assuring them that the land and the plans for the houses have actually gone beyond where we can reverse to getting money to the population.
Thank you. But Honourable, I think you had my advice, engage readers. Because if you bring Honourable Linus on board, he will go and talk to his people. But if you don't, you'll find it difficult in you doing your work. So just let's resume on the debate. So I had picked a few colleagues, Honourable Bia, Honourable Musa, Honourable Biara, Honourable Cadet, Honourable Ik, Honourable Kashari, Honourable. Yes, I'm going to pick here.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for this opportunity. First of all, I want to thank the Minister for the report, and I had the opportunity to look at the report. Right Honourable Speaker, my situation of power in my constituency can only be compared to Obongi district in West Nile. And this is due to a situation created by ministry. If you look at all the projects we have in West Nile, you see that the projects that go to refugee hosting districts. But when these projects reach the district, they only limited it to refugee hosting sub-counties. But I want to thank the minister. 2 months ago, the team was sent to the constituents, and they have been doing surveys, and they informed the committees for the implementation of the project. But what I want to plead with the minister to see that this project doesn't suffer the fate of most of the projects that we have in the country. I want to comment on the challenges the minister highlighted in the report. One of the biggest challenges to the sector is funding. And he made an appeal that this House should reconsider the 5% which was removed when we amended the energy law. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to agree with the minister. We know that energy is one of the key enablers. All of us need power in our rural constituents. And if we cannot allocate resources for power for the ministry, and then we should allow the ministry to mobilize resources. My view is that we should really consider the charge on bulk purchase of power. We could do about 2 to 5%, 2 to 3%, not necessarily 2.5%. But the ministry need to look at the reasons for which this charge was removed. One of the arguments was that we needed to remove monopoly so that we can have many entities have bulk purchase of power.
Thank you. Honourable colleagues, we are doing only 2 minutes each, so be cautious. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I thank the Minister for the presentation, but I would want to also, in the footsteps of my colleague, to say that in Bunyaruguru, we have over 11,000 households with no access to the electricity grid. That translates to 61,000 people without electricity. Now, we all know that electricity is the basis for a modern economy. Now, when we talk about transforming Uganda, you cannot transform it without electricity. And therefore, when you look at the government data, Honourable Speaker, in Bunyaruguru we have over 60,000 people between 30 years and 15 years who are not educated, not in employment, and not in training. And the only way of getting those people out of poverty through inclusive transformation is by making sure that we have electricity, extensions in the constituency, more so the most affected areas like in Dangara, Mugogo, and many others. It is through that we shall develop them through trainings in Juwakali, carpentry, saloon, hotels, small restaurants, and we cannot do that minus electricity. Honorable colleagues, if we don't have electricity in our constituencies, trust me that only 20% will come back, or it will lead also to monetization of the elections. Therefore, it is important that we assign money, that we have enough electricity that transform our constituencies and districts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, I had allowed Ik.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For recorded purposes, my name is Lukwang Hilary. I represent people.
I grew up in Makere. You know, we had all these sports facilities. You know, football pitches, basketball, swimming. There's literally everything. So that's where the love started. If you train yourself, like there's certain instincts that you learn naturally that you're going to do in the game that don't need coaching. That really shaped me because our Rhino Athletics Club, they didn't only just teach us the game, but they also taught us life skills. When they promoted me to the senior team, I was 15 years old. When we came into the first division, obviously we're not the best team. We just came from down.
Yeah.
But in our first year, we won the championship.
You won the championship.
Yeah.
Remember the songs that made you sing, the moments that made you dance, the voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace Live Concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Early bird tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace Concert is sponsored by
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apple, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apple is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apple today. Apple is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
Join renowned Pan-African Bishop Joshua Maponga Marara III from Zimbabwe as the keynote speaker at the 9th Pan-African Pyramid Global Awards 2026 and 12th anniversary dinner to be held on the 29th of August 2026 at Munyonyo Peak Resort from 2 p.m. The theme is honoring the humanitarian legacy of Comrade Rajiv Ruparelia. Book your dinner card now on 0757 342 317 or 0782 342 317. This is the true awakening of African Renaissance. Come, let's rekindle our roots. Africa, don't agonize, organize. Powered by
Bana Uganda muwulire kitabanga wo bajjukira process ekutuusaako Irene Namatuvu atuuse mu Kampala ku Serena Hotel ng'abiri mu August musajja atuumye strong woman life ofeyire emitwalo 10 yebye emitwalo 15 ku gate ale badi emitwalo 10 ate meza ya milioni 3 ticket zitondibwa ku passport ku John Color Solutions ne ku Serena Hotel wennyene Irene Namatuvu yasinga mu kyabayita authentic Uganda rhythms enkuba ya Afro pop egatta engoma ya wano n'ekidongo ono ye Afrima Award winner best female artist mu East Africa choreography ya Irene Namatuvu screen stage n'amataala abiri mu August Serena Hotel mwana watu naba mwerekeddeko fogo kalempita bimami bijje be strong woman ebikoze sente z'ekikazi twagala byana byeskoba bimadulo kyoza sente ziwawereza ku simu zabaddemu ekicupuli ky'etaano wereza endala twagidwa KCB Bank Newman's bakola obumpwati Victoria University Uniform Pepsi Mount Caleb International School Bwalula Geneva Logistics Afro Mobile Nesanyuka TV.
How sure is this they had picked? They forgot.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My queries to the Honorable Minister is that, for example, in the Bulambuli constituency, we have lines that have been constructed, but they pass a full sub-county without connectivity to the households. So is the rural electrification program just a construction program or really a transformative action that is supposed to change the households? And Right Honorable Speaker, one of my colleagues hinted on very important sector, the health sector. We have health center 3s that have been constructed by government. But you find the nurses are using actually torches in the process of operations and helping mothers who are giving delivery. Can it be an action that for public institutions, for example, health centers, even churches, I don't know whether, Right Honorable Speaker, the church you constructed in Vitereko has power, but for us who are in the Christian world, we want to praise and worship. So please, the education sector, myself personally, I've tried to help in connecting schools, all girl, like schools for girl children, but there are also other schools within most of the constituencies that don't have power. Please, Honorable Minister, we are here to support you, but please do the necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bukwa. Then Kashari.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Tete Chalangat Evelyn, Member of Parliament, Bukwa District. I raise an issue. I want to thank government, this government, NRM government. It has done a lot. In Bukwa District, it has constructed a road, which is very powerful. There is no road in this country that can be compared to our road, yet it was the worst. Mr. Speaker, sir, this road is there, and I want to thank God for government. Electricity is has been installed in Bukwa district, right from Kapchorwa up to the border. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, sir, the electricity is just along the road. Maybe very few schools and very few health centers are benefiting from electricity. But those roads, those other institutions, like, okay, those ones which are far away from the road don't have. We have 9 seed schools, 9 government schools constructed by World Bank, very powerful, but no electricity. No power, no nothing. Even the health centers which are far away from the road, they don't have electricity. It is unfortunate. Some 2 months, a woman was taken to a hospital, pregnant woman. And because we didn't have electricity, there was no generator. The doctors used a phone to operate the woman. Unfortunately, she died. We have just buried her. So, and even along the road, we don't have transformers. The power is just there, but they are.
Thank you. Honourable Minister has taken note. Kashari.
Thank you.
And then Honourable Yagarachi, Honourable Naruyima.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Just Honourable Kashava, you're seated on the front bench of the shadow cabinet. You can't catch my eye when you're in that position. Yes, Honourable Martin, I will pick you. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. For the record, my name is Amusingus Patrick, a representative for Kashari's constituency. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm delighted for having been given an opportunity to talk about electricity, which is a concern for all of us. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to bring to our attention that in the places of Omukagorora, Wamhiji, Buyenje, and Mapapasi Nibisia, we've had transformers which went down 5 months back. To date, nothing has ever been done. And we have schools, we have hospitals, so it really beats my understanding to begin, or I'm inclined to think that maybe it's the public service mentality of doing things, I'm sorry to say. Because I remember I worked in public service sometime back in Uganda Telecom, and we were headhunted to come and revive and revitalize the company. And these are the similar ways of doing things, how things were being done. That mentality of I don't care as long as my salary is coming into my pockets. I'm sorry to say that. Right Honourable Speaker, I would request that there's a place called Akajera on your way to Uganda. It's a very serious, powerful trading center with so many shops and business, but we just lack a transformer on Ray. The former MPs have written, I've written myself, we have taken their technicians from UEDCL. We just need a transformer for Omokajera so that we revive that place also to get electricity. And last, my point is I request that we see that all over Uganda and all members of parliament, they are crying about electricity, electricity, electricity. Let's apportion and we say of the 100% electricity that maybe we are going to distribute, let's give each district this percentage so that we are aware and we follow up on those apportions of percentages so that I'm 100% sure that this is what I'll be getting in a year. Thank you very much. I beg to submit, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Now I'm on opposition. If you are not opposition, yes. Yeah. Now, colleagues, let me guide you. Okay, just sit, I guide you. Okay? Yes, I just want to make it very easy for you so that you follow how I do things when I'm here. So, I've picked from NRM. Now I have to pick from opposition. After picking from opposition, I'll pick independence. Okay? After picking independence, I go back to NRM. Now, I know there are some NRM who are here. But usually, I look at NRM who are here in case this side is full. When this side has space, I don't know why NRM rushed to sit this side. So, me, I understand NRM side is here. So if you're NRM, I request you to sit this side. If it is full, I will declare free sitting. Okay? Or it will be difficult for you to catch my eye because I'll be consulting with the leader of opposition and show me your members whom I can pick. Okay? No, that side is okay. Honorable Bigger Rose, where you are, that side is okay. I know. Yes, Honorable Kori, I know that side is okay. Okay? I know that side is okay. I'm meaning this side, especially this corner, including the business class where Honorable Ed is seated. But if you get full, then I allow free sitting for this side. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm picking opposition. And even in opposition, colleagues, I try to balance. I look at all parties that are in. So I'm picking NUP, and Honorable Yagarachi, NUP, and Honorable Naruima. Then I pick Honorable Kenya Uma and Honorable Apio as UPC. Then I pick FDC. No, Honorable, you already spoke on this matter of electricity. If you know you submitted on this matter of electricity, kindly let's give others an opportunity. And then DP whip, I'll pick the whip of DP. Okay? Then I again go back to independence and then I come back. I pick you. I want to give you enough time, Honorable colleagues. Please, Honorable Yagarachi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for the report he presented on this House. But what, Honorable Speaker, my people are watching here, and one of them sent me a message. Honorable Speaker, since 1997, I have 39 parishes in the constituency. The biggest percentage of the parishes, they don't have power. Since 1997, the time we got the district as Vujiri. And even those smaller parts that have wires and the transformer and the poles, what another speaker, power is not consistent. Power just comes in 30 minutes, and within that 30 minutes, it goes off for a week. In the whole district, what honorable speaker, this is unfair. The biggest population in Vujiri district, what honorable speaker, most of them, they depend on this, they depend on electricity to get what to eat. So, right honorable minister, we are really disappointed. We are disappointed. Kindly come here and clean the name. You know, people of Busoga, they are over complaining because they know power is from River Nile. You cannot explain anything. You cannot tell them anything about power. So, right, Honorable Minister, convince the people of Busoga so that they can allow us to talk to them when power is off. Lastly, in your report,
Honorable Narima.
Honorable Speaker, 1 minute, kindly.
Honorable Narima.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on this matter, when I peruse through the statement, we are finding that the Minister is not providing adequate, actually it's not anywhere there in the statement, on the matters of submarine power cables. For some of us who are having islands, we are not seeing this being affected. The connection of electricity, hydroelectric power to islands. I have Busi Islands. We are praying that really you work on electricity in the islands. Zinga Health Center 3 is one of those affected areas. And also, when you talk about Wakiso in Dabusuro North, areas of Masuli, Namayu, Kachiri, up to this day, we are still looking at those political poles. The ones you deposited there 7 years back, up to this day, we don't have lines and connection to the households. We are praying that you please revisit these areas where you connected power, rather where you put poles and power is not there. We are praying that you make us good by ensuring that also health centers, especially those health center 3s that offer maternity services, are catered for countrywide. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kenya Uma.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, mine is a clarification going to the Minister. I remember in the 11th Parliament, there was a project called Scale Up Project, which was launched in your district in Mitoma. And members of Parliament from Bwara's district, we are given a percentage that each district will be demarcated and transformers will go to different areas of the district. Up to now, I don't know whether that project is still ongoing, because we went and even informed our people that power is not coming. Right Honourable Speaker, this is an alarming situation, because as I go now, even my district, the health centers, which does not even have power. We even have 6 schools, which does not even have power. Sometimes when you tell people it's a government program is going to come, they say you are not representing them well. We really request that power should be connected, and if possible, I want to implore this for Parliament. We are now starting a budgeting process. If we could put something, some good amount of money, and we budget for electricity to be connected to all the districts throughout the country. I want to thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable, if you can recollect, the other week the Minister presented a comprehensive statement on that SCARA project. It's the one which prompted us, because when the debate started, you could see it was off SCARA. So I said, you better bring an updated statement so that we debate from an informed point of view. So the statement is there, and the colleagues, is part of the debate. We are debating the sector in general. Yes, Honourable Appeal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to emphatically express the deep frustration of the people of Oyam County North, who continue to be left behind in the National Rural Electrification Program. And to note, Mr. Speaker, Oyam and Kiriandongo districts, between them, give up to 600 megawatts of electricity from the Karuma hydropower plant. And yet, only 2.7% of our households in Oyam and the institutions, including health centers and schools, have access to electricity, are connected to the national grid. On the report, Mr. Speaker, the Minister's implementation report, specifically Table 5 and 6 of your report on the current flagship program, whereas other districts, including the neighboring districts, are reflected on those tables, Oyam has nothing, 0 kilometers. And I would like clarification on that, Honourable Minister. But, Honourable Minister, last year, out of pity, I think, for Oyam North, you directed that at least 3 transformers be given to connect Oyam Health Center 3s to the grid. Nothing has happened after endless surveys, survey after survey. So I'm requesting for clarification. Is that directive still standing, of the 3 transformers, and when might we have it? Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Let me pick FDC, I pick DP.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kiria Grace Wanzala, my names. I'm the Member of Parliament representing Butembe, Nijinja District. Mr. Speaker, I want to re-echo what I have seen in the age that I have in Butembe. The greatest power line there was established in 1976 to transport power to an oil mill in Luka. The wires just pass over the entire sub-county. Fortunately, in the scale-up project where they wanted to drop power, a transformer was dropped in Bugovia. The power there, the transformer cannot supply the village, and that's where the health center is. The power becomes dim. I don't know how to term that word. It comes dim. Evening hours, you see as if the lights are fading. What does that imply? There is no single, even maize mill, that can be established in that trading center. And it looks to be the main trading center in the sub-county. What makes me wonder is that out of the 21,000 households, it is only 7,540 households having power. a district near the power dam that was built in 1956. I am wondering if that district is at that level. Then what about Ike? Then there is a problem. We need to start thinking positively in our country, colleagues. PDM, if we...
Sorry, thank you. Honorable Court.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Court, I have here Mitiana once as a procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm Makumbi Henry Kamya, representing the people of Mitiana South. Mr. Speaker, the other time we were here, the minister presented a fair statement, and you told him to go and look for another better statement, more comprehensive. And Mr. Speaker, we have noticed the level of desperation and the level of need of electricity in this country. And I see we are continuing to dig. We shall talk about power until the cows or goats come back. Because we need power, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it procedurally right at this level, Mr. Speaker, to just unanimously agree as a House, honorable members of Parliament, and agree on a special loan, if possible, to the Ministry of Energy to look for money and give power like we had started in the 10th Parliament? Mr. Speaker, would it be procedure right so that at this stage you rule and we agree on the source of funding to the Ministry of Energy? Because all of us want to talk, and even those who have...
Thank you. Now, thank you. Now, first of all, Honorable, Article 93 of the Constitution does not give us that power. It limits us. Okay? Anything that has a charge on the consolidated fund must come from the executive. Okay? So we cannot come and we say, because we have debated and we say everyone wants power, let's agree on a special loan. Now, we determine how much, for example, if we wanted to agree on it, she said $2 billion, $1 billion, what? Okay? So, but number two, honorable colleagues, I know I'm saying repetitive, but this is deliberate. I want members to raise issues of their constituencies, because their constituencies are watching, they need to be heard. Okay? Whether it's adding much value to what the ministry is doing or not, but at least they would have done their part of speaking for their people. So that's why I allowed a long debate on this issue to give members a chance. So, Honorable Okot, I had picked Honorable Okot.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
And then Honorable Kero.
Mr. Speaker.
Then I go to independence. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for the report because it brought all the honesty out. This report has provided to us the realities on the ground. A number of colleagues have been speaking here stating where power is not available. I read the report. Under rural electrification, Mr. Minister, if I take my district of Omoro, yes, nearly every sub-county has been mentioned as having power. But let us see critically where these electricity are located, how they were selected, where they should be put. One wonders. My thinking is that the priorities when expanding these electricities should go to health centers, should go to schools. The last time we had connections in Omoro was when we were still under Gulu district. We had a connection in Aremo, supplying only a distance of about 1 kilometer, leaving the health center. Now I've seen under rural electrification, another sub-county has been put, Abuga sub-county. Still again, giving an extension of only about 1 kilometer, leaving Avoche center. This is health center 3. But Mr. Minister, I would also advise that when planning for these projects, you have to coordinate with other ministries. We have schools where computers have been sent, they are redundant because there is no power. We have health centers which have been upgraded.
Thank you. Honorable Okero.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister for the statement he has made. But my people of Nuaya East also would like to appreciate the connections that were done under REA. Some connections were done. Some lines are okay, others are not. Mr. Speaker, the target of the rural electrification was that it should reach sub-county headquarters, health centers, schools, and trading centers. In my constituency, 3 sub-counties remain without electricity. Mr. Speaker, we have also a seed secondary school, an investment of 3.2 billion, without any line near it. Even the road access to that school, you have to go through Yam in order to deliver materials. I would just plead with the minister to make sure that where government is investing such huge amount of money should be facilitated with electricity. Mr. Speaker, also in my constituency, there is a 17-kilometer line which I actually asked the manager in the area, and he told me the line was compromised. And he explained to me that some materials were poor quality that cannot deliver electricity. In that line, Mr. Speaker, the power is too weak. It is there always, but it is too weak even for a single phase welding. I plead with the minister to investigate what happened and do things that are quality so that things are done once and you move on to the next. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Me pick on historical and I'll pick on Magora. Karwanga, I'll give you a chance, don't mind. Okay? Let me pick historical Magora, then I go in a single matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on issue of electricity, we always see the vigor because we think that Uganda has it all. If it's poles, we have the cheap poles. That we plant our trees and we move. To our dismay, we find it, the ministry find it hard or to make it expensive, maybe to benefit. In order, they go move even an extra mile to import concrete poles of electricity. So that they promise us they are giving us a good service. But you wonder, Right Honorable Speaker, we have areas which are developing on high speed and many youth are coming up to work. But what this may you find it, they are stuck. I'll tell you, I have areas like Kawunyata, Chichusa, Busika, Vumba, Champis. Those areas, if they get electricity, they don't even wait for PDM. They can sustain themselves. But now we are making young to beg because we have failed to put the environment which can make them work for themselves. 2, there is also a situation where government must even supply electricity because they also benefit. Once they supply electricity, they employ people, there is a service fee where people can even just survive. Now if you have electricity, people are moving around, but now they have a transferred challenge. You know, we had a Umeme was like a wife who was going to move away from home. Now they left everything like that. Now load shedding is normal in our areas. You find by 7 now, in all that part of Ruero, you can't find electricity. Now animal theft is on increase because now they know that by 7, total darkness, now you wait. That's why you are crying.
Thank you. I'll do 1, 2. I'm on independence now. Independence only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then
yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. For the record, this Emmanuel Magola Matovu, MP for Busro East in Wakiso district. For the people of Busro East constituency, which is a constituency of less than 10 kilometers from Kampala, we have sub-counties of Mende and Wakiso, and some of my honorable colleagues, you stay in these areas. But you find we take 3 to 4 days without power. 2 weeks. When we talk about rural electrification, in sub-counties of Mende, sub-counties of Wakiso, and some parts of Chengera Town Council, they don't have power. This program, is it for districts outside the Kampala metropolitan, or we are also included? Thank you.
Honorable Singoma.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a session or two which I have not attended on this debate, but at the risk of bringing up something which has already been discussed here, allow me to bring up the aspect of cost. Right Honorable Speaker, my people in Hoima City have made it categorically clear to me and to all of us, the leaders of the city, that the electricity charges are just too exorbitant and they cannot afford. Right Honorable Speaker, even if we succeed in improving on the connectivity, the mere fact that the people, the Wananchi, are not in a position to afford payment of the rates, their aspirations of getting power may continue to be a pipe dream. So, Right Honorable Speaker, can the Minister tell us if there are any intentions on the part of government to consider easing the cost of power so that our people, the Wananchi, to whom all of these projects are supposed to target, can benefit? Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I've looked at the documents that the Minister has given us and his statement. I've found that we, the people from Teso, those projects have not covered us. I looked at the last one, only Serere district has been covered. And Teso, apart from Karamoja and West Nile, we are the most affected when it comes to electricity. The electricity that we have only pass through the main roads, but the interland is so much affected, specifically in Soroti. When I look at the first document, it covered the city and some constituencies, but the constituency of Dakabela, not even one parish has been mentioned. I have 24 parishes. Out of the 24 parishes, only 6 has electricity. In one of the trading centers, which had power, 1 year ago in June last year, that is Anyeri, which is in Katine sub-county, they took the generator away. Up to now, they don't have that generator. So you can imagine somebody who was used to electricity, then they come and take it away. Imagine how they are feeling. I wonder why you take a generator away and then don't bring it for 1 year. The transformer, it's the transformer. They took a transformer away for 1 year. Up to now, they don't have it. They're always calling me, and that happened to be my parish. So you can imagine they think they don't have leaders. So the minister, please help us. Help us. Thank you. Now, before the colleagues I had picked, I want to make a special exemption to the Shadow Minister for Energy, because the Committee on Natural Resources is traveling, and I'm the one who gave them permission I think to Karuma. They are traveling to Karuma. I don't know wherever they are going. Yeah, but I just give him 2 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Then allow him to leave.
Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister said, and he stated it for a fact, and the fact it is, that they inherited a debt of 570 billion shillings from REA, Rural Electrification Agency. And out of that 570 billion, they have received 222 billion. That money is not enough to carry power throughout the whole country. Project affected persons have only received, they are demanding 35 billion shillings. That being stated, Right Honourable Speaker, should it be known that in the financial year, between February 2025 and March 2026, government sold power to Kenya, Rwanda, Congo, and Sudan to a tune of 72 million US dollars. That comes to 267 billion shillings. My question to the Minister is, why don't you use that money for rural electrification? Because you can see the entire country is crying. Let it be known that there are 33 million Ugandans who don't have power. Everybody is complaining about power. And it's a fact, we need to address this issue. Right Honourable Speaker, the government is committing 33 to 34 trillion shillings to the Buyende project, nuclear power project. The first megawatt will be produced in 2031. Why?
Just let me allow you a minute as a shadow minister. Yeah.
Why don't we first wait to invest for 2031? Because right now we have deemed energy that is not being used simply because...
Point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order for a whole shadow minister to stand before the nation and tell them naked lie that the government of Uganda is exporting power to South Sudan or Sudan? Is in order.
Honourable Minister, are you exporting power to South Sudan?
We commissioned lines, distribution lines along the border areas. So some of it goes to South Sudan.
So the honourable member is in order, but I won't demand an apology from you, Honourable Linus.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, my other issue was some of us ought to do some research because we are paid for it. And we have research assistants who can help us.
Now you have started quarreling.
Right Honourable Speaker, my other issue was about the Buyende nuclear power project. That project is going to cost us 33 to 34 trillion shillings. We expect, that is 9 billion US dollars. That project is going to produce the first megawatt in 2031. Why do we commit a lot of money for the future and yet in the present, where we need about 550 billion to carry power to rural areas? Why don't we forfeit the first project of 10 billion, 9 billion, 55 trillion for present, where we need only 33, 34, 500 billion shillings? I would recommend that the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development be asked, to produce the proposal, the project, and how it was started, the one that is in Buyende, against and they give us the certificate of financial implication of that project. Because, Right Honourable Speaker, by 2031, the project will have cost Ugandans 45 trillion shillings, now adjusted by inflation.
Now, Honourable Shadow Minister, you have power. I think it should be Rule 55. Should be Rule 55 of our Rules of Procedure. I just wanted to, yes, Rule 55 of our Rules of Procedure. You have room as a Shadow Minister of bringing a statement that would give an alternative view, okay, to what the Minister is doing on the other side. Now, that sounds so big, okay, for it to be brought in casually. Why don't you work out with the lead of opposition? Of course, you bring it under the lead of opposition. Yeah, and you come, you say, Honourable Minister, I've seen in the budget, in the work plans, you have A, B, C, D. This is a huge project that is 3 trillion. I don't know the figure personally. You know, and we debate and you add value. Yeah.
Right Honourable Speaker, given time, I'm going to come up with that report and table it on the floor of Parliament.
Sure.
I thank you.
Thank you. So let's continue. Now, colleagues, I was proposing, because I'm seeing the way the debate is going, we are just informing the Minister of our issues. So for me to be able to capture nearly all of you, I'm going to reduce this to 1 minute. So that I give, yes, I would rather do 1 minute and I capture more of you, okay? Because we are not going to make any resolution on this matter. We are giving information to the Minister mainly, so that I can capture, I can cover many of you. I'm still this side. Now I'm on independence.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I have heard from the Line Ministry. He has given a list of projects that is going to be done in different districts. My district, Dokolo, has a challenge of connectivity. I have places in Dokolo South, especially Dokolo Town Council, Eastern Ward, Central Ward, in fact, all the wards. They even don't, those cells even don't appear like they're in urban setting. I would wish to get from the Land Ministry whether he has a plan for Dokolo Town Council. Even in other parishes, like Dokolo Kangai Town Council has become an urban setting. We don't have electricity. Other parishes like Adegino Parish, we don't have electricity. We don't need electricity just because of light, but we need electricity for production and for business. We need to compel the young generation.
Thank you, Honourable Muchibi. No. Yes, let's
thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Emmanuel Ilukol is my name. I want to say
and that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free on fire, free on fire, free on fire.
Too many ads? Expensive subscription? You deserve better. And artists, thousands of plays, but nothing to show for it. This ends now. Introducing Ugatunes, the new home of your favorite music on Afro Mobile. Listeners, stream your favorite songs ad-free at no cost. Artists, earn from every stream. Withdraw your royalties anytime from as low as 20,000 Uganda shillings. This is music that pays off. This is music that belongs to you. Ugatunes, your sound, your stage, your reward.
I grew up in Makere. We had all these sports facilities, football pitches, basketball, swimming, there's literally everything. So that's where the love started. If you train yourself, like there's certain instincts that you learn naturally that you got to do in the game that don't need coaching. That really shaped me because our Rhino Athletics Club, they didn't only just teach us the game, but they also taught us life skills. When they promoted me into the senior team, I was 15 years old. When we came into the first division, obviously we're not the best team. We just came from down. Yeah. But in our first year, we won the championship. You won the championship. Yeah.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains. It's a special goal! Come at the hour! Come at the man! This football is from the heavens. What a story this is! 10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
The biggest stars from the world's biggest leagues on SuperSport. It's on GoTV.
Influence is more than followers, it's impact. At Next Influencer, we connect brands with the right voices through a thorough vetting and discovery process. We onboard influencers with hands-on workshops that build skills, unlock real opportunities, and fuel professional growth. Brands find the perfect match, influencers get dignified jobs, and audiences experience authentic stories. This is where influence becomes value. Next Influencer. Create, discover, connect, influence.
In a digital world, not everything is what it seems. False stories today spread faster than truth, leaving us all wondering what's real. Disinformation misleads, misinformation misguides and spreads confusion and fear. Dismiss, a campaign to help you think critically, question wisely, and verify thoroughly. Join us. Let's build a more informed Uganda, one truth at a time. Dismiss, inquire, verify, confirm. Together, let's fight fake news.
I'm Dr. Lawrence, Vice Chancellor of Victoria University. Right now, the world is being rewritten, and I want to show you exactly how. Artificial intelligence has already changed how we work, how we learn, and how we live. It's not coming, it's here. And the question every parent should be asking is your child's university moving with it or being left behind? Take education. This used to be the classroom. Chalkboards, AI-powered diagnostics, simulation labs, predicting illness before symptoms even appears. This is the future of medicine, and it's being taught right here in Uganda. It doesn't stop there. The way we bank, the way we farm, the way we build, AI is quietly rewriting every single one. And East Africa cannot afford to watch from the sidelines. So if you're a parent and you want your son or daughter to lead, not follow, this new world, ask yourself, where should they be? At Victoria University, our students don't just learn about AI, they build with it every single day. Victoria University is not just adapting to the age of AI, we are leading it. The leading university in artificial intelligence in Uganda and across East Africa. The future is already being built. The only question is, will your child help build it? Victoria University, where Africa's AI future begins. Apply today.
Remember the songs that made you sing, the moments that made you dance, the voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace Live Concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Early bird tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace Concert is sponsored by Up next. MBS. Always. Live at 1.
A very good afternoon, and thank you so much for keeping it NBS Television always. Welcome to NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Now, before we get into the bulletin, a reminder for you to definitely go ahead and download the MTN TV by Afro Mobile. It is available in your App Store, in your Play Store. Get to be in charge of your streaming experience, whether you are in the world of sports or you're interested in some kids content. Is it podcasts you're looking for? All of these offerings are available at MTN TV by Afro Mobile, so go ahead and download that and get with the program. But back into the big stories happening around the country. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Adoni Ayebare, has begun his tenure with an engagement with heads of foreign missions in Uganda, focusing on strengthening the country's foreign policy with emphasis on economic diplomacy, peace and security, international cooperation and economic transformation. The minister also highlighted Uganda's bid for the UN Secretary General position, which he says is progressing well.
I felt that after a few days in office, I would meet with all the heads of diplomatic missions and all the honorary councils in Uganda to introduce myself, but also trying to them government priorities, the Ugandan government priorities, especially in the foreign policy arena. So it was a very productive meeting, especially at the beginning of my tenure, and I look forward to interacting with them more in details, group by group. Our priorities are, of course, economic transformation through commercial diplomacy, energy, climate change, peace and security, and also one of my priorities is to lift travel advisories. As you know, some countries have put travel advisories on Uganda that is affecting the economy, but we're having a good discussion with those countries to reopen business. With countries, he's got an opportunity to explain his vision to all the member states in New York, and he's doing well. He has so far met almost 13 members of the Security Council. As you know, the UN Security Council, which is 15 members, is very important. They are the electorate, and he's engaging all of them. So far, so good.
Many of us, and I can include myself in that, we know Mr. Ayebare, Ambassador Ayebare, already from his time as United Nations Ambassador for Uganda. And we know him as an incredibly experienced and highly efficient operator. And therefore, we are all so much looking forward to working with him here in Kampala. He brings such an enormous experience and professionalism from especially multilateral diplomacy, which I think will be very useful for him in his new role. And it also, I think, will strengthen clearly the Ugandan voice globally.
This was a very good briefing, especially after a few days that the new minister was sworn in, to have us and brief us about Uganda's diplomacy, foreign policy, economic policy. It was a very good brief. We go with a very important takeaway, and we are very happy to work with the new ministers. We had
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mgalu, has flagged off the distribution of food relief to 2,000 vulnerable households in the Karamoja sub-region. However, the Archbishop says food handouts alone cannot address the persistent hunger affecting communities in the region. He is calling on development partners to invest in sustainable projects that can enable Karamoja communities to produce their own food and improve their livelihoods. Richard Oyel is with us and shares with us details of this story.
I deeply appreciate each one of you for gathering here today as we stand together, family, united by our shared faith and common humanity, to respond to the crisis of hunger and the urgent needs of God's people. The prolonged hunger crisis has weighed heavily on our communities, bringing severe hardship to families across the Karamoja sub-region for the last 4 months. We have watched with deep concern as God's people face the devastating risk of malnutrition. Yet even in this valley of struggle, we are reminded that hope is never lost. To our clergy, staff, politicians, lay leaders, and community volunteers, I ask you to remain close to the people, listen to them, understand their vulnerabilities, and pray with them continuously. In closing, I appeal to our partners, friends, and the wider body of Christ for continued sustained support, possibly a lifelong solution of modern irrigation system in this region. The needs of the Karamoja region remain immense and significant, and short-term relief is simply not enough. We must sustain our efforts until these communities are fully equipped to rebuild their livelihood resilience. May the Almighty God bless the people of Karamoja, and may He continue to bless the Republic of Uganda. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The Uganda Land Commission, in partnership with the Ministry of Lands, has held the regional stakeholders workshop in Greater Masaka as part of efforts to develop a comprehensive government land inventory. The inventory is intended to establish a clear record of government-owned land across the country and help address challenges surrounding government land management. In Greater Masaka, the initiative comes at a time when land conflicts remain a major concern, with residents in areas including Sembabule, Rakai and Yantonde facing disputes over land they say they have acquired or occupied for decades. We take a moment to listen in to this particular address by the minister.
We are intentional and we are committed to protect government land. Together, let us build that protects public assets, that will support planning and ensure that Uganda has the land required to meet the needs of the generations to come. With those few remarks, I now take the singular honor to declare this workshop open for God and my country.
have more details on this particular story in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on, the Ministry of Education through River Flow International is currently training all primary school science teachers in Busia district on how best to impart practical knowledge to learners without relying heavily on giving them notes, which sometimes does little to improve the learners' understanding. The training follows the distribution of science study kits and equipment to primary schools across the district to enhance the teaching and learning of science subjects. David Ocheng is currently in Tororo. David, a very good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Do tell us a little more about this engagement and its intended benefits.
Thank you, Tracy. To correct you a little bit, I'm coming to you live from Busia, not Tororo. But of course, the person who is joining me to talk about this training that is ongoing is the teacher who is actually the trainer of this exercise, Mr. Nabasa. Let's talk about this training.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the objective of this training. Why are we here?
Thank you very much. My name is Teacher Nabasa, and I'm the Technical Programs Manager, River Flow International. We are here at Busia Border Primary School for the training of science teachers on the practical usage of the recently distributed primary science kit, which are the mini laboratories for primary schools here in Busia district, to empower teachers with skills of conducting practical hands-on lessons rather than the usual ones of cramming, talk, and chalk that we always done in different schools across the country. Yes, that's the purpose why we are here, such that these candidates who are already in will not miss. We all know the narrative. Most of us, how we learned in a way where teachers are drawing diagrams on the chalkboard. Here we give them materials which show reality. We did experiments, they're also done on the chalkboard. Here teachers do experiments, learners do the same. Learners ask essential questions for understanding rather than cramming to remember.
Let's talk about how this particular science kits will change the way teachers do their teaching.
Thank you very much. We know most teachers are used to come in the classroom with textbook A, B, or C, and they are getting notes from a textbook onto the chalkboard. Then learners are copying the same into the books so that tomorrow they can revise. But we all know the level of the learners and the literacy levels of our learners cannot help them to actually read these notes. So what are we saying today with these kits? These kits will provide the materials, essential practical teaching aids that the teacher will need to teach something that he would have taken a week teaching, and just in one lesson, they are able to accomplish it. And as you can see in the background, teachers are already learning how to assemble, are learning how to use, are learning how to integrate in different approaches in their teaching to make sure that the phobia of fearing science in learners has totally gone down and they are raising interest in learning and understanding science.
Let's talk, you've been to Mbale, you've been to Tororo before actually Busia here.
True.
Let's talk, you've been interacting with these teachers. What are some of the challenges that you observe that these teachers have actually been facing?
Thank you very much. On implementation level, such things have been missing. The teachers have been having textbooks, they try to draw some charts, but some of the practical materials that make science lively have been one of the lacking sections or lacking tools that would help them to transmit science in the way it is supposed to be. And we know science is not a theory thing. Science is about proving facts. Science is about investigating. Science is about finding solutions. And those ones you cannot do them with a textbook. So now teachers have been appreciating the Ministry of Education for giving them these materials. If you come here, and I think you have seen Mr. Chen, how the teachers are interested here, they are also learning new things, are getting excited, and that is the same thing we want to be translated into the classroom. So the challenge of lacking practical materials is now solved. The problem of lacking the ways of teaching practically, that one is ending. We are now going to have learners do experiments instead of copying notes.
Thank you, teacher. And of course, Tracy, that and more is what our viewers outside there should expect in our subsequent bulletin. Allow me to get back to you at the Political Command Center.
Thank you so much, David Ocheng, joining us from Busia. The Uganda People's Defense Forces has commenced a screening of shortlisted applicants at Kacheka Stadium in Mbara City as part of its recruitment exercise of young people from Rwampara, Mbara and Mbara City to join the army. In an exercise that is slated to last 5 days, Major Edward Birungi, the 2nd Division spokesperson, says that the force is prioritizing applicants with science backgrounds over those who studied arts. We now join Alex Mugasha for details on this very story. Alex? Well, there you go. Alex Mugasha, very good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Well, let's get into the numbers first and foremost. And of course, do they have the science people they're looking for?
Well, thank you very much, Tracy. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to you watching us. Now, the young people, young women and men who have the patriotism to serve this nation through the military, they are ready. Like you can see in my background, those are some of the recruits that are undergoing screening. Yesterday, we had Mbara City, Mbara District, and Rwampara District that underwent, the screening. And today is another district. I am told that Uganda District is having their screening today. Now, each district is going to have one particular day that they will be undergoing screening. And if you miss that, then you have missed out completely. We do not know what happens later, but at least we will be speaking to the Public Relations Officer for the 2nd Division, Major Edward Birungi. We also had a conversation with him earlier and revealed to us that priority is given to those with a science background. Let's take a listen and get back shortly.
Ready? Ready. Down! Down! Up! Up! Down! Down! Up! Up! Down! Down! Up! Up! Down!
Science is now becoming something that we can't do without as a country and as UPDF at large, because we are now shifting from analog to digital. Our weapons are now more digital than analog. So we need scientists mostly to man those equipments. That's why we are giving priority to sciences than arts. So for those who have made applications, who have been shortlisted, who are going to go through screening, we still now prioritize sciences. So all are good, but now priority will set in. We get the best science and we take them at another level of training so that we get the good out of them.
So the recruits that will definitely get through will definitely be admitted and will proceed with another military training, like you have heard Major Edward Birungi say. But at least what we know is that physical screening is carried out. They are also checked with whether they have some diseases. We have doctors here, but also they are looking at their academic qualifications or academic papers. And that is when they identify those who are into sciences and are actually taking the priority. But also we know that this recruit screening will take 5 days, and each district has got 1 day. We have over 8 districts that make up Greater Mbarara, so that means each district will definitely have 1 day. If you miss out, then we do not know what will happen. But at least we will be here to make sure that we bring the details to you, our viewer, of the outcomes. If there are any rejections, we will definitely let you know. Let me get back to you, Tracy, at the Political Command Center. Good afternoon.
A very good afternoon to you, Alex Mgasha. Many thanks for that report. A reminder as we take a very short break of what is currently playing across our other platforms. What you look over here, NBS Live continues. Plenary is in session. Find out what is currently on the floor of Parliament by tuning in to NBS Live. Or it is sport. And if you're into sport, NBS Sport is currently with Lunchtime Sport. Fifi Pinky and Stewart also playing that right there. NBS Plus continues with Snack and Vibe as well. And of course, Prince already in the center right there to deliver. We now take a very short break. NBS Live at 1 returns shortly with many more stories.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Billions are invested. Promises are made, projects are launched, but what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public fans delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda, auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
But now Uganda moved clear process ekutuusaako bayibiri namatuvu atuuse mu Kampala ku Serena Hotel ng'abiri mu August musajja atuumye strong woman live ofeyira emitwalo 10 yebye emitwalo 15 ku gate ale badi emitwalo 10 ate meza ya milioni 3 tickets zitondibwa ku passport ku John Color Solutions ne ku Serena Hotel wennyene olw'ebiri namatuvu yasinga mu kyabayita authentic Ugandan rhythms enkuba ya Afro pop egatta engoma ya wano n'ekidongo ono ye Afrima Award winner best female artist mu East Africa choreography yairini namatovu screen stage n'amataala abiri mu August Serena Hotel mwana watu nabo muwerekeddeko fogo kalempita bimami bijje be strong woman ebikoze sente z'ekikazi twagala byana bya Scoba bimadulo kiwoza sente ziwawereza ku simu zabaddemu ekicupuli ky'etaano wereza endala twagidwa KCB Bank Newman's bakola obumpwati Victoria University Euroform Pepsi Mount Caleb International School Bualula Finiva Logistics Afro Mobile Nesanyuka TV.
This is not just a run. This is a movement with purpose. Join us on 30th August 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the Cancer Run 2026. Starting at 6 a.m. Also taking place simultaneously in other districts across Uganda for the completion of the one-stop cancer center at Nsambia Hospital. Registration is only 30,000 Ugandan shillings online using Gonza Pay. Gates are available at all Centenary Bank branches, Capital Shoppers outlets, Bread House branches, the Cancer Run office on Zimwa Road, Muyenga, the Rotary Uganda office at Nick Building, and Rotary clubs across the country. The Rotary Cancer Run 2026 is organized in partnership with the Parliament of Uganda, Centenary Bank, Crystal Water, and
NBS Sport, championing Ugandan sport.
It's been a long time coming. It's Vinka.
Yo, Vinka.
And we've been cooking something big. Skyview and Swans Avenue proudly present Vinka Live and Loud. It's going to be an endless hit fun hit. Tune ko tune on Friday the 21st of August at Lugogo Cricket Oval, where the experience is going to be like no other. Music louder, flavors harder, lights brighter, vibes bigger. So bring your crew and grab your favorite ice cold Sky View and let's get it on. So grab your ticket right now on the Momo app or dial *165*20#. The Vinka Live and Loud concert is brought to you by Swans Avenue and Skyview. Skyview, more flavor, more fees, more fun.
Welcome back. You are watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Cabinet has resolved that all medical interns, both on government and private sponsorship, be paid 1 million shillings between this month and the end of the year as they come up with a conclusive report on how to deal with the interns. The announcement was made by the State Minister for ICT, Alion Jock Onrie, during a press conference held in Kampala.
Cabinet agreed and resolved, effective this month of August till end of the year, all the doctor internship students, whether private or government sponsored, will be paid the same amount of allowance of 1 million shillings. As long as a person has been attending lectures for the 5 years, inclusive all other trainings within the 5 years, and has passed all his exams, then that student qualifies for graduation. Minus waiting for internship first, and then you come to graduate. So that means after the 5 years, once you've passed all your papers, the choice is yours to apply for internship, but you graduate immediately.
Hoima leaders, led by the Office of the Resident District Commissioner, have given technical heads in Hoima 14 days to respond to grievances raised by local communities during a community accountability baraza held in Vuraru sub-county in Hoima district. Notable issues were teachers asking for money from parents in government schools, connivance of area land committees to grab people's land, and asking for money from patients in government health centers, among others. We're now definitely joined by Alan Mwesugwa, Bureau Chief. Alan, a very good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Quite rainy where you're joining us from. But let's get into the details of the baraza and, of course, the people that were present. But this is a good initiative, especially if you're looking at accountability coming in from the local leaders. The interaction there is what we want to get into. Alan Mwesugwa, very good afternoon. Many thanks again for joining us. We want to get into the details of the baraza.
A very good afternoon, Tracy, and good afternoon, Uganda. The conversation is about an engagement that did happen yesterday in Vuraru sub-county. We're talking about 3 sub-counties: Abulindi sub-county, and then Kyabigambire sub-county. Of course, it was an engagement by technical leaders from Hoima district, but also the district chairperson, also the office of the resident district commissioner, talking about accountability, something that the Minister for Local Government, Balam Barugara, has actually been emphasizing, but notable concerns were shadow work in that perspective, sub-counties, but also some medical workers are still asking for money, and to that effect, the resident district commissioner has directed or given an ultimatum of 14 days for the technical head to be able to present a report. If not, those liable accounts should be able to be arrested and also action taken against them. Let's listen to the district chairperson, Uthman Mugisha, and the assistant president, district commissioner, who is supposed to be Sonko.
There are some concerns that we couldn't leave unattended to, specifically complaints that our people have been receiving 500,000 as PDM, some receiving 600,000, which they have confessed that they have been receiving. Someone here says he received 500,000. What is the technical team putting on paper? What did they document? So that we can find out if they documented that the person received 1 million, yet the person says he received 500,000. We shall immediately direct to arrest that person. So we have also instructed COW that we are going to write to him and direct for audits by our district internal auditor and external auditors on some projects and some programs so that we can ascertain value for money majorly on the projects that our people are complaining about. Specifically, we're talking at on projects in the education department where we had some classroom blocks built, where we had some standstill latrines built, and most of those projects fall in the education department and in the community department, where we had the construction of some community buildings at some community land, because there are some complaints regarding the way on how they were built, and that some buildings might not have met the standard. So we want to do a comparison of the scope of work, the bills of quantity, and what is actual on the ground.
Citizens have raised a lot of issues concerning their communities. They include water, roads, PDM, YLOP, PDC money. So I'm instructing and giving an autonomy of 14 days for the COW's office to handle this matter, because we are servants of the people of Hoima district.
For details of that will be later on in a subsequent bulletin. NBS Samasengej and NBS live at 9. Serious rain here. Back to Tracy at the Political Command Center, and good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, and of course, many thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, the increasing number of urban refugees in West Nile is becoming a major concern for local governments that dispense government services. The two major towns of Arua and Koboko alone host over 50,000 urban refugees, which has increased demand and put pressure on the existing government services and infrastructure. In a bid to improve the situation, the Community Empowerment for Transformation Action in the West Nile has given 3 million shillings to 4 refugee groups in Arua city as part of a startup capital. The groups are majorly comprised of members with disabilities and women. On this story, we're joined by Joseph Omagor. A very good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Let's get into just what this particular initiative will benefit the people of West Nile.
Thank you very much, Tracy, and a very good afternoon to you too. Thank you for having me. This conversation about urban refugees has been gaining attraction, of course, here in West Nile, because we've got very many refugees in Arua city alone, about 23,000 or more, and then also the other side in Koboko over about 30,000 urban refugees. So this has been picking up, of course, the conversation about how do we handle this situation, because our policies have not been catering for this. In the last 10 years, we have got the European Union picking up interest and coming up with a project called the Sudaik, and that is where the SEFTRA West Nile comes in. And right now they are training these refugee groups to see that they can actually sustain themselves in urban centers. In their own words, this is what they have to say.
good news is all these groups have refugees, and this will also promote peaceful coexistence. This will promote unity, inclusion, and we also deliberate in this project. We have PWDs and youths and women groups. These are vulnerable groups in the community, and we believe with this money to be able to make good use of it. So part of sustainability goes to this project because one is revolving. To once after them 2 years after doing this project, they'll be able to give this money or send this money to other groups.
There's a change in our group which you have made. At first, we were just doing our savings without keeping our money in the in account. As for now, I'm talking to you people, the group has opened for us an account now.
It's also a moment that being a refugee is not a permanent situation. It's a temporary situation brought about by circumstances that have forced others to flee their home countries. And while they are here with us, in our city and elsewhere, let's live together with them as brothers and sisters.
Humanitarian because, and for us this would be easy if you're in a room, because not long ago, we were refugees. If you're not a refugee, your parents were. Many of us who were in our 20s, our parents didn't go to school because they were running in tears. And so we are alive to this fact, and therefore we can't afford to not be kind to refugees. I have had conversations where people question why should the country put all these resources to welcome refugees and look at them as too many, or some people have questioned the president's intentions of going to DRC. Only the narrative is very simple. When your neighbor's house is on fire and you have a grassroots house, you have all resources to go and fight that fire. Because if you don't, wind will bring the fire on your own grassroots house and it will burn.
Tracy, at the heart of this discussion is the issue of coexistence between the refugees and the host communities in the urban centers. And as you've heard from the leaders in that video, they are saying we here in West Nile were once refugees in DRC and South Sudan, but now how do we coexist together? Back to you at the Political Command Center.
Many thanks, Joseph Omago, for joining us this afternoon. That particular story brings us to the end of NBS Live at 1. We definitely will be letting it end here. A reminder for you to download MTN TV by AfroMobile. It is currently available on your App Store and your Play Store. Be in charge of your streaming experience, whatever kind of content you're looking at, whether it is sports, current affairs, movies, or is it podcasts you're interested in. Have the courtesy, of course, to rewind. And of course, you get to choose when you stream, from where you stream, and of course, any time of your choosing, whether you are in the diaspora or you are here in the country. That is entirely up to you because it is your screen, your rules, and your choice. My name is Tracy Kansime. Have a good afternoon. You're welcome.
Funa Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the makers of Pepsi.
Final Billy Zombie.
Team ya Manchester United
Kayongo Fashions
yanga betegekera Hams Cup weto team yagala kwange gena ku mutendo guddako okuva mu kibinja olutabalo lwokwangula obukadi 15 buli omu angamatinja kwanga kwatako abeto ngo twaniza madafa bali ku MBS the Big Political Command Center ngo tubakulisayo mu live at 1 abeto kwa wamuli agagene maso wano n'ensonga nga bestambula nafe bana bemzanyi mwetu jiro kwatusako amawulire agagene maso msike bemzanyi kwetu ligwanga le Uganda semazinga Africa abulai na tutulu kwanga tumtamula batukujukiza downloading at the big MTN TV buy Afrobubble kusumio osoro kwangu saro kuchichi yagala okulaba from cartoon ibidini of course entertainment oyagala movies oyagala kubijibyo na akwebiri ku MTN TV buy Afrobubble osoro kwanga tolira otufuna kutata aganyizibwa konna okusoro kwanga kutunulidwa n'ensonga nyingi nyo but kasese we are coming this Saturday ajukira the big Tascarite Renzori Marathon komio nene nyo this time around embraced by Parliament Government of Uganda anabula banji nyoso nafe to embracing entekateke ne tulidwa abayitonga togera ku
Where is the coffee park?
Coffee park eri ntungamo
but nekasese you something about coffee and it is why
I rise here to give a submission for my people of Kwania County, arising from the presentation by the Minister of Energy. Early this year, around March, there were remaining places that had not got power, and the team from his office went and surveyed my different sub-counties. For example, Etekibe Trading Center, they surveyed, they went to Tora Trading Center, they went to Anamobola Trading Center, they went to Telwa, all those other places. My question is, does your work only end in surveying places? Because after doing the survey, the technical people told us that we would give them only 2 weeks, they would get back and start the work. That is why I'm rising up here, because my people now look at me as not following up on the matter which...
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Wokuri Geoffrey is by name, representing the people of Bungoko South County, Mbale District. In addition to the highest number of faulty transformers, Right Honorable Speaker, are found in Bungoko South County, Mbale District. But also, I wanted to, through you, to inform the Minister that between 2022 and 2024, people paid for no polo service at 20,000 shillings. Those who have wires up to date, they are not connected. And in the previous statement last week, the minister indicated that this time they are going to pay 26,000 for no polo service. How do you account for the first money? Actually, they were wondering where Balam can reach Thank you. Yes, Ajibisaso, then Rutera, then Bugendera.
Thank you, right.
Then Honorable Lady next to, yes, Bugende, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Abdul Bisaso once again. To the Minister of Energy, whereas many places in Kasanda South do not have power, there is already a line that was built by government from Kasanda to Kalwana. It is not commissioned for the last 7 years and beyond. Secondly, Kasanda harbors the largest mine deposits, mineral deposits. But up to today, many mining areas do not have power. Yet power is very important in mining as mines generate revenue to the government. I request that the minister prioritizes the mining areas of Kasanda such that government can earn more revenue. I thank you.
Thank you. Yes. It was Teraho. Then we ended then.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Minister for what he's doing, but in 2022, we had a very good project, hydroelectric power at Chikagat border. When they came, inside him he knows, they promised us electricity to start with us before even going to Tanzania. But a disappointment, we have good structured health centers. One of them is Kakamba in Isinjiro in Bukanga North and Chargaju in Isinjiro North. But those two health centers are well structured, there is no power, and even people know they don't go there. And our neighbors there, they start criticizing the government that they have good structured health centers, but they are homes of the birds. Really, and the ministers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Namlenda Sarah, Woman Representative, Uganda District. My issue is we have health centers, but when you move around Uganda, we are only 2.56% coverage for the whole district. We have health centers like Mponde, which is even a very, very busy trading center, Kabonge, and many others, plus Nkone. We have those ones, but there is no power. Then the seed schools that have been constructed. We have Irundu, the transformer was picked. I don't know why. And then Buyende sub-county as a seed school, we also don't have power there. So, Honorable Minister, I please pray that Buyende be considered when you...
Thank you. Yes, so wait.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in the presentation of the Minister, he mentioned of the project regarding the Get Fit project. Now, the intention of the Get Fit project was to supply electricity to those communities that were surrounding the main hydropower plants. Busongora County North, for example, has 5 main power plants. Unfortunately, Honorable Minister, most of the communities around these power plants do not have electricity. What happened to the Get Fit project in that regard? Secondly, the projects which the minister presented, most of them are being supported by either the donors or the loans.
Thank you. Yes, I had already picked. No, I wanted, you know, colleagues, when you have elders here, I made an elder stand up many times. Mejaguma. And then Karwanga. Alenyo, then Karwanga.
Mr. Speaker, sir, both sides of the house, I'm Mejaguma from Uganda North. Both sides of the house are in total agreement, very unbelievable unanimity between the opposition and the government side that the country requires power. And the people of Uganda North also, through you also require power. The Prime Minister is here, so for me I would request that, and I know Mr. Museveni, the President of this country, talks to you, just help the Minister. You source alone, government sources alone. I have ever said it here, and we finish this matter once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Marshal Alenyo, Jonam County. Honorable Speaker, in Pakwach we have 42,902 households. Of those households, only about 3,000 are on the grid. the issue of the power lines passing over the Jonams going to Madokolo causes a lot of stampede. Honorable Speaker, this phenomenon of power lines passing through the community, yet the people down don't have power, creates a lot of anxiety in the community that is down. That's one of the biggest issues we are facing in Jonam. My request to the ministry is that they should give us transformers, try as much as possible to connect our people, and we have health centers, we have schools, we have all those places which are not connected. But also the minister has to visit Ghana so that they see how urban people pay so that they subsidize the rural people. If the minister goes to Ghana, he will become with a better formula. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Karanga.
Thank you,
Honorable Chan Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2015, the government gave us a line from Tiana to Kanoni. But there's a lot of complaints, and I almost lost within those two sub-counties. They need their compensation. So I would like the Honourable Minister to come up and take over that challenge. It's now crystal clear that the Ministry of Energy is the one responsible for all the challenges that other ministries are facing. When you look at the Ministry of Trade, they are crying because of electricity. The Ministry of Agriculture is also crying because of electricity. The Education, the Health Ministry, they are all crying because of electricity. Honourable Minister, can you come up and help us, save us from this quagmire we are in? Because I know at the end of the day, you can save us. If not, Honourable Speaker, please, like he has requested the elder, come up and help us. Because all the challenges...
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, lack of electricity today is beyond an infrastructure problem. It's a serious economic and social development issue. Mr. Speaker, most settlers in urban areas are migrants from rural areas looking for stable and reliable utilities, water and electricity. It is very unfortunate that even the urban centers are parking municipal inclusive, Mr. Speaker, has less than 15% connectivity to the households. Mr. Speaker, this causes a lot of problems. One, including increased insecurity. Mr. Speaker, during power outages, our streets, our buildings, our corridors are poorly lit, increasing the potential for robbery, crimes in many aspects. Mr. Speaker, number two, water and sanitation problems. Most of the water plants in urban areas are powered by electricity. So during power outages, water distribution are interrupted, causing a lot of problems.
Thank you. Honourable Kwizera.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg that you give me another minute because...
First utilize the one of...
Now, Honourable Speaker, non-compliance to the Electricity Act, Cap 157, is the one that has caused all of these problems. Section 63 says, the Minister shall prepare a sustainable and coordinated rural electrification strategy plan, present it to Cabinet and bring it to Parliament, which is not there. Then when you go to Section 64, Electricity Development Fund, the government shall establish Electricity Development Fund. 66 says there will be a database. Based on what is being debated, Honourable Speaker, you can see that there is a generic problem. And in the next Parliament had recommended and adopted that this ministry be a...
Since you used half of your minute complaining,
that this Ministry of Energy would be standalone, such that it is not conflicting for resources with petroleum, because the resources which are there are not sufficient. There is also a conflict between the Ministry of Energy and the agencies implementing the rural electrification, like Uganda Electricity Distribution Company, which does not get money from government. It gets money from the tariff, and now the tariff goes up. So, Honourable Minister, let us comply with the law. I thank you.
Thank you. Now, colleagues, I use Honourable Janensi as a reference. I don't want people of Kashonji. We saw the Speaker reprimanding you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Janensi Okumramia from Kashonji County. Kashonji has very many challenges. One, we have parishes that don't have power at all. These include Beza Parish, Chigando Parish, and Rugunju Parish.
Mr. Speaker, there are many other high growth centers, including Echkoni, which has more than 10 cooling machines. They don't have power. We have Bembogo, we have Kagando, we have Mabare, and many other places. Mr. Speaker, there are many people who are complaining. They paid for their power, they're connected into their homes, but they cannot be connected. The reason being given, there are no meters in the centers. Mr. Speaker, there are many other, I have 3 transformers that are not connected to the national grid. I request the Honourable Minister of Energy, please give us consideration for Kashon.
Thank you. Now, colleagues, a quarter of this House has debated this matter. I think 109 colleagues. You can see we've spent 4 weeks on State of the Nation, but we've reached 200. So here we have had 109 members submitting on this matter. Please allow me that we make progress. Honourable Minister, I don't think you will answer. I don't know how you're going to structure your answers. Kind of the floor is yours, but in 5 minutes you can give us a response and your guide.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I would wish to appreciate the members for all the questions and the submissions. Electricity is enabler for development. We are all aware that the moment electricity goes to a community or a village, it contributes to development of that village. So it is the reason why there is a demand for electricity everywhere. Number 2, we have a strategy for rural electrification. The electrification is going to be in 2 forms. 1, the grid, which stands currently at 24.4%, and 38% is off-grid, giving us a total of connectivity of 62.4%. And what is the plan? The plan is to have the whole country connected by 2030. Connected to one form, either grid or off-grid. And off-grid is simpler to reach to those especially distant areas from the grid. As I said, the cost of connecting, extending medium voltage is at 100 million shillings per kilometer. And somebody here actually said he was asked for about 300,000 to connect about one kilometer. That is if you went to the private electricity companies, you actually get that type of figure. Now, what is the strategy? Where do we start from? We started with, does every district headquarters have electricity? There are only a few districts which are not connected to electricity. Bungi, and then you find Buvuma. They are not connected to electricity. A majority of them are actually connected. Then we said, can we have every city connected? All the cities are connected. We moved from now the cities to the sub-counties. The project which you have heard being talked about, the sub-county project, which Kefa was referring to, there are new sub-counties which are not connected. We have over 600 sub-counties, and we have about 200 sub-counties which are not connected. And we have plans to reach those sub-counties. Now, we have got to move to the sub-counties, to the parishes. Many of you are saying our parishes are not connected. We are aware about it. A parish doesn't have a headquarters. How do we plan to reach the the parishes? We intend to take electricity. We know every sub-county has got a primary school. We are targeting to take electricity to the primary schools at the sub-county, at the parish level. Once electricity reaches a school in a parish, then we shall have reached that parish with electrification. we intend to reach the health centers. If we take electricity to a health center, which is in a parish, we actually count that electricity has reached those parishes. Now, overall, where is our priority? Our priority is going to be, how do we use electricity for productive purposes? How do we get the tenfold growth strategy delivered using electricity? There are two approaches. One, we are going to look at where is agriculture. The small factories which are being cited in our discussions, those are centers which are going to cause growth in those parishes, which is going to cause growth in the communities. And then the second one, tourist sites. We are going to focus on delivering electricity to those sub-counties and districts where there is tourism, deliberately, because we want to address the tenfold economic growth. And then we are going to be looking at mines. The colleague who said Kasanda doesn't have electricity and is a key mining area, we are going to focus delivering power to the mines, and then we are going to focus delivering power to industrial parks. This is going to be our priority areas. And then the last one, how do we take power now to science-based establishments? Schools are science-based. That's where we get the children to learn science. We are going to take electricity to those centers. This is a strategy which we are following, but taking electricity to every household may not be possible now. We are going to move by priority. What do we do now? What can we do tomorrow? And by 2030, we have a target to reach every household. Right Honorable Speaker, there are so many questions which have been asked here. If you may allow, through you, I'm going to request the members, I will be inviting you to, by your sons, to the ministry where we can sit to discuss what plans we have for your son. We have a proposal, we have 18 zones, and we want to do this before the end of September, such that by the time we go to the next budget, we shall have actually captured your demands, and you will have understood what projects have been completed in your zone, what projects are going on, and what are the plans which are in the offing for your zone, and then we shall be able to capture those areas which we shall have not captured. The surveys that we continue carrying out are actually surveys to enable us plan better. There are those projects which are ongoing. The surveys are done to confirm the sites which have been identified. Surveys are also done to enable us capture the schools, the health centers, which are our priority. So, colleagues, if you accept, I will be starting to invite you by the fourth week of August, and I expect by October, all of you will have had a presentation of the ministry by your sons. And we shall not only be doing for electricity, we shall also be telling you about minerals.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
So thank you very much, right Honourable Speaker.
So let the Committee on Natural Resources be following up on this matter. Honourable Margaret Etiru reached out to me. She's talking about health centers and hospitals. You need to see a way of ensuring their power is not cut off in a time. Colleagues, I'm going to suspend the House for 30 minutes. That is, we are returning at 2:35 to continue with the House. That's when we shall handle matters of national importance and the rest. Thank you.
turagaruke
Yeah, I'll play the first half.
Yeah.